Hey everyone, Avatar Guy here, and today I am joined by Ashin, who is going to
Hey,
be controlling the images that we see, Klee,
Hi guys.
and Anamnesis.
Good afternoon, good evening.
And we've had an extremely exciting day of content that comes in the form of previews of the books that we are gonna that are going to be coming out. The two books are Ashin, do you want to go back to the titles of the two books just so
yeah, sorry. There we are. On full
um
screen.
let me just turn this so that Ashin is actually full screened so that everyone can see what he's showing. There we go. So the two books that have come out, one of them is called The Art of Avatar: The Way of Water, and the other one is called Avatar: The Way of Water, a visual dictionary. And then we're going to talk about some of the other things that have been announced in the past week. So if you're not familiar with these pieces of content, they are books that are going to be coming out in December. One of them is all of the kind of concept art that was created for the sequel. There was a book like this made for Alita, which was really cool. Alita Battle Angel. And the other one is very much like you'll have seen them for things like Star Wars, where it goes into all the different items in the world and kind of gives you an explanation. And we've seen some really cool things out of that. So let's just begin, guys.
Yeah, all right. First page will be the cover page of the Art of Avatar book.
What do we think?
So, yeah, I mean, it looks amazing, right?
It's outstanding.
I pre-ordered the book the instant I saw it.
Nice. So we think that's Loek at the top there.
It must be. It looks just like him.
Yeah, I think so as well.
It has to be.
It looks like it's Payakan. You know, the token with the injured fin, because I think one of the fins on the far
Yeah,
side.
that fin looks injured for sure.
That is a good catch.
Yeah.
Yes,
and then
I'm wondering about that very long sort of, it's not a tentacle or a tail, but what is that very long thing along its body? Is that like the Navi braid? Is that a fin?
It's
Is
where they
that
make
what
the
the
halo.
cut fin is supposed to look like? Yeah, is it how they make the halo?
I think so. It
I
would
think
make
it
sense
is
if
as
it
well.
does.
But it's very long.
It's quite long though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's very long.
I
That's what
really
she
wonder
said.
what that is.
Navi hair's quite long in comparison to their body, I guess.
Yeah. I guess it'll be
True.
interesting to see how it actually also connects, because I guess it would have to loop back around.
Yeah, if you want to actually ride the Tulkun, it's way too long. And it's also on the, it looks like it's starting from its belly or from its lower jaw.
It's spinning around. If you've ever watched a marine animal breach the water and turn and spin, they kind of flip their fins. And so it's kind of like turning like a ponytail in the air.
Oh, I see. So it's like twisting around its own body.
Right.
Mm.
Have you guys, any of you seen The Secret of Whales?
Yep.
The Secret of the Whales.
Yeah.
I mean, does it go? Do the whales in that do this?
Yeah, they come up backwards. They flip backwards. It's really cool.
Right. So yeah.
I don't know if they get that high though.
No.
They got lower gravity on Pandora, so it can do better tricks.
And the bigger flippers.
Yeah, that's true. The thing that I'm weird, right? The thing that really struck me was the little things in the back. So the weird cliffs, you know, like with the arches and stuff. I wonder if they're like, if you right at the bottom, yeah. I wonder if they're proto floating mountains.
Huh, yeah.
Oh, I see. If they are in the process of detaching from the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. No, it could be. They do look like floating mountains in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that thing could not be supported by such small pillars.
That's what I was thinking.
So maybe they are, partly floating already.
Looks like a tooth. Like a tooth coming out. Maybe. All right. So what do you think? The next page then, right? This is the first page we have in the Art of Avatar book. So on the left, like we have Neytiri Day.
This image of Neytiri made me laugh so much, right?
Which bit?
Because it's such a like a weird Photoshop. It's literally that image of Neytiri from the first movie, but they've just used Photoshop to give her a bump on her belly. Like, credit to Ollie on Discord for that. I was laughing my head off, genuinely.
Maybe this was before they decided to move the timeline forward by 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, maybe. And then
these images on the right, that's what the movie would have looked like if it came out in the 1990s.
Yeah. I also feel like we need to give a shout out to the amazing artists, right? Because Dylan Cole features prominently in a lot of the art we're going to see, and he's a fantastic artist. He's worked on things like Lord of the Rings, and he's done some of the most amazing art for Avatar. But the thing I really like is it lists all these artists who work on these like pieces and who's helped make them, and also talks about the process that they've gone through. So some of them, like where Jim has really specifically given them instructions on what it is going to look like or what it should look like. Others where they've got more freedom. I think that a lot of this is really interesting to look at from that perspective and give us a glimpse into the James Cameron's creative process, which for me is always really interesting.
Yeah, and to that point, that picture on the bottom left, I'm pretty sure that's a mannequin head that they use to actually make the headdress. So you can touch it and you can actually make sure the ergonomics work, and then you digitize it and it feels more real. And that's something they did a lot for the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that they credit all the artists on on most of the pictures. Because, I mean, we all like to talk about how great Jim is, but he's surrounded by crews of great artists and stuff.
I mean, I think that's one of his. I think that is one of his actual points of genius. Is that even though he's fantastic at what he does individually, he brings the best people together. Like that's his true ultimate skill. You know, like James Cameron goes out there and finds people like Wayne Barlow and Dylan Cole, and he gets them to work on a singular project when they're all like geniuses in their own right, and then he creates something just so far beyond, I guess, anything we've seen before.
When he's like winning all those visual effects Oscars, like he's not the one actually, you know, in the tools making the special effects or whatever, is he? He's just he's brought the teams together and like doing groundbreaking things. So yeah, I see that.
Do you reckon they'll have a section of the book where it's just Jim's initial sketches, like he always sketches everything out first. So
I hope so.
Do we want to go over what it says here? What is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the reason Jake has dreads is because he's been forced to by the Met It's not forced to, but he does it for a symbol to become part of the Met and he doesn't really care what he's wearing, really, which is in character for Jake, I think.
Yeah, I think I think he'll have more of a human-inspired look initially. He'll be carrying human weapons. He won't look like Etukan.
It reflects kind of on. I mean, he looks a little bit like Etukan in that left-hand image, you know.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
But at the same time, I get that. Yeah, Jake's still going to be a Marine to the end, isn't he? I can't imagine him enjoying wearing something that's purely ceremonial.
He's going to be fighting recoms, so he's got to have some of their gear. Right?
Yeah, he wants something practical.
All right, let's move on to the next page, I think. All right, so we have the Mako sub on this page. And obviously a Mako is a shark, which I found out today, embarrassingly. But yeah, this ship is like shaped like a shark. It's a submarine, which drops from the Sea Dragon ship, which is the even bigger ship, which holds subs within it. So
it also looks like a torpedo. And
does,
also like a bomb, which it does say in that little paragraph that they drop like bombs from a bomber.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, have you seen the Tom Cruise movie Live, Die, Repeat, where they all get dropped out of the ship in the suits? It reminds me of that they're like basically airdropping these into the field.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing that I liked about this page was that in that segment to the left of the one in the top right, it talks about what Jim actually said that it needed to do, so that it was a certain length, it was a certain width, and a certain height. And yeah, that was basically what Jim said to them, and then they went with that.
Yeah, and I think they were limited by the size of what's on the set, so maybe that's I want to fit 3 of them above the moon pool, so make them to this size.
If you guys remember from the teaser trailer, these are the ships which are actually shown in the scene where I think Spider and another Navi are, like, escaping from, I think, Quaritch.
Yeah,
Like.
that's the moon pool they're jumping into in the teaser.
There's a moon pool in the abyss, right?
Right.
Yes.
Same idea.
Yeah. So I feel like, oh man, this is James Cameron did say that he can do everything that he wants to creatively in this world, and even seeing these just gives me Aliens vibes and the Abyss vibes.
It's
it
just like
makes me so happy to see it.
It's like the Sulaco and the drop ships. Express elevator to Pandora going down.
Clea, I feel like you should have a lot to say on this one.
I want us to zoom in a little bit into the control panel, sort of in the middle.
Here?
Yeah, it's I don't know if you guys can read, but
on this here, are we doing some detective work? Okay. Enhance. Is there? No, it's not working.
I think it says Minty Facts number 112.
Oh, that's probably it.
Although it looks like it again reminds me of Aliens, right? It looks like
if we look back to the whole control panel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You have
although it could also just be a piece of thing that the artist themselves has written. You know, that there's going to be something on that section, and they've drawn a little arrow to say there's something here.
Yes, maybe missing 3D display or something.
Someone in chat said Clean TVs can't read. I mean, it's true.
It's on the
side, something about an LCD screen, so it looks like it could be an artist's note.
Yes, and notice that these are actually screens. There's no like holographic displays or transparent ones like they use. This looks like it's less of a luxury display. It's more hardened. It's more
sophisticated.
Less sophisticated and more military. Yes, exactly. Now they are taking Pandora seriously, and they are bringing actual hardware.
I would speculate that in the years since the RDA has built these designs kind of not haphazard, but very quickly. So they had to roll them out fast. So they're kind of primitive, more like they had all the advanced tech back at the base. Now they need to allocate their resources differently and make it up as they go along.
So something interesting I noticed is that there's two drivers. There's one like laying forwards on his got his chest on like.
Oh no! It says in the it says in the thing one's a gunner. So in the top in that description, zoom in on the description that Jim gave. It's a driver and a gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Jim's brief said the Mako sub is fast and approximately 30 feet, 9 meters long. Gunner and a pilot. It's traveled 46 miles an hour fast through water.
Yeah,
I think that the cockpit in the upper left, is that the gunner position?
You can see both positions. You got the pilot at the back, and then the guy sort of leaning forwards. Yeah, that's cool.
And you had just zoomed into the picture on the right. They have probably 4 harpoons on each of them. Those are the same harpoons that were in.
Yes, these are the harpoons. These are the ones. And at the bottom, it looks like another weapon, maybe a machine gun or something designed to work underwater.
It's on a swivel. It's like a 360 degree.
That's why you need a gunner.
Oh, you don't want to be wildlife on Pandora at the moment, do you?
These things. Oh my god.
Oh, there will be a lot to say about that when we get to Bridgehead.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Bridgehead.
Are we ready to move on?
I think so. I don't have anything more to say about this bit. Apart from that moon pool is again. It's that I think that one there in that image is the one we see in the teaser that they're jumping into, unless there's multiple moon pools, which there might be.
It might be if this is a big ship.
Yeah.
Oh, there's tons. There's going to be several. These are just a few small support craft. They have other pools with bigger ships.
Yes, the way they are talking about it, I don't think the entire contingent is 3 subs. 3 Mako subs.
No. The Sea Dragon's like a floating city.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's true. I think we can jump on to the next one.
This is like the Sea Dragon's like the dragon assault ship of the sea.
It's Mama Dragon.
Yeah, oh boy.
It's the Papa Dragon's wife.
You can fit a bunch of M suits in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, so for the next page, we have Metcaina on the right there. What are you guys' thoughts on the anatomy of the Metcaina? You obviously got.
I wasn't expecting them to go into that kind of anatomical detail. It's
Yeah.
I
really,
absolutely love that.
yeah.
That to me, I actually immediately looked at the artist's name because I actually suspected it could have been Jim himself, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that kind of Da Vinci-esque anatomy, the fact that they've gone into that level of detail, and I mean, we
Mhm.
know they have xenobiologists working on the movie, so it
Look at
doesn't
the details on
exactly
these
surprise me.
as well. It's crazy.
Yeah, like the full muscle group. I guess I wonder if these work especially well for the
I mean,
animators
they
when they're
must.
animating the muscle groups.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was wanting to say. They have to work because that's why they are making them. They're not doing this just so they can put it in the book. They are doing this because they need it to animate them.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
yeah,
then,
they
like-
have. Sorry, you go.
No, I was just gonna. No, you go ahead, because I was gonna comment on the other section. You go.
So I don't know. I was thinking it's called a strake, right? This fin, and it's an extension of the forearm.
That's the tail. You're looking at the side profile. That's
Okay,
their
no,
body,
you're
their
right.
tail.
Yeah,
The strakes are on their arms.
yeah. There's this. There it is.
That's a common term in aeronautics. The strake is like on a plane. It's the side wings below the tail fin. They provide stability. Yeah. It's yeah.
So what are you going to say, T-Base, about the left?
I was gonna say that basically the left-hand side one it seems to be from the teaser, and then to also look at what it actually says in the text, because this one I actually can't specifically remember what it says, but I just know that it talks about the what's it called, the physiological aspects of the Metcaina and the way they design them, which I guess is that bit on the other side. But you can the level of thought that's gone into each aspect is just insane.
Yeah, I like that they say we didn't want to do webbing between their fingers and their toes because when you think about it, they need to be aerodynamic. If they're going to dive in, you want to be as streamlined as possible at the tip, and you don't want any webbing. So the webbing is between their other limbs.
You also don't want to lose dexterity, because the Na'vi are complex society with many crafts and tasks, and they make weapons, and they need that dexterity. They're not fish people, you know.
Right, and they wouldn't be able to do their sign language if they had webs between their fingers.
What do we think of the kind of I don't know how the word for it, but that structure that is it a coral reef?
Like, it looks like roots to me.
It does, doesn't it? It looks like a mixture of a coral reef and a tree.
Yeah,
reef growing on a tree.
I wonder if the Metcaina again. I wonder if they've got different. I wonder if they've got completely different structures to the Omatkaya, or whether there's like analogous, so they have like an ancient place, the Omatkaya have an ancient place.
I was just going to say it's very evocative of the roots of Home Tree. So it is kind of analogous. It's just underwater. I think you've got a good point.
To go back to the first movie, when they visit the neighboring tribes, those don't seem to have a sacred place. I don't think these have also a tree of souls. I think sacred places, there's not just one for every tribe. So maybe the Metcaina are special. Like the Omatikaya were.
The Omatkaya are, like, I guess, maybe even closer to Ewa than some of the other tribes. Which will, again,
but maybe the Metcaina are even more.
And what did everyone think of the fact that they gave everyone jetpacks, underwater jetpacks for filming?
Yeah, I saw that. It's interesting.
I wonder if that's like military technology or something. Cameron got his hands on.
I think they custom built everything.
I mean, we know they have Navy SEALs working to train them to breathe underwater, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were using some kind of pseudo military tech in filming the movie.
Were they really jetpacks though, or I think they're like
It says underwater jetpacks in the description.
Wow.
Okay. And they press a button and it makes them shoot forward.
I thought it was just a prop.
Yes, it's just a prop. It sounds cooler if you call it an underwater jetpack.
No, but I mean, Oh, you mean it's just a prop, isn't it? Yeah, it's a prop.
I don't think a jet turbine would work underwater, but whatever.
Hey, don't question what Jim is calling things, right? If he calls it a jetpack, it's a jetpack.
Okay.
Jim's over there, like he's actually built an Iron Man suit. It's like, let me show you how it's actually done.
I wouldn't rule it out.
And
Right, I think it's time for the next page.
No, it's not time for the next page. We need to talk about this dude on the right.
Okay. No, he is pretty swole, right? Real swole.
Yeah, it's pretty wide.
Zoom right in on his face.
He's been doing his pull-ups for sure. Have you seen those those lats? Sorry.
He's massive.
Yeah, huge guy. All right. Time to move on now.
Okay.
All right. So this one's just a nice image, right? Of a Tulkun with two Metcaina swimmers by the looks of it. I think wearing like robes, right?
Yeah,
I think
some kind of gown.
They look like that robe that Kate Winslet was shown wearing underwater. The other thing I think to notice is this is definitely a different kind of Tulkun to the one that we've seen already, the one that was swimming with Loak. Because look at the size of it; it's way bigger. It's got all of its fins, and it's got this like big saddle around its center. And also these kind of weird things on the end of its fins.
Yeah. Okay, that tentacle I was talking about at the start, the Tsahelu appendage, it's still on its back, on its belly. I mean.
Yeah.
And yet there are two underneath. Can you see that near the saddle?
Yes, because
maybe they're the ones.
It's swimming upside down.
Yeah. Yes. So these are probably
the Tsahelu organ.
Yeah, where the Navi connect, right? But this, on the other hand, doesn't really look like anything. I mean, it could be, or you can't. I'd say you can't really tell from this image. It's not enough resolution.
It could be just a fin.
We're gonna have to wait for the Tulkun detail page on the book to see what they are.
Yeah. And there's a lot of bioluminescence.
Oh yeah, on its skin.
I was going to mention that. Yeah, we did. The bioluminescence is. It looks nice, really.
It's really pretty.
They're called Tanhi guys.
I see.
Tanhi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lorenzo pointed out in the Discord.
And yeah, one last thing.
To the top left-hand side, you can see a little bunch of the other members just through the water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is part of some ceremony.
Yeah.
Maybe I was speculating earlier on one of the videos this morning. Sorry, I don't think it was on your channel, Avatar Guy. But remember how the process with Tsahelu works with the Ikran. They go up there and it's kind of a very hostile, confrontational, physical show of force between the Navi and the Ikran. I think with the Metcaina, because there's a higher intelligence with the Tulkun, there's not going to be that same sort of aggressive confrontation where, how do I know which Tulkun I'm going to pick? He's not going to try to kill you. He's going to try to see you. You have to communicate with him. So it's much more gentle, graceful, peaceful ceremony.
Or even intellectual rather than the Ikran.
Yeah.
Like they almost, because we also don't know whether they maybe you can make Tsahelu with it and then it just rejects you because it kind of like, it's like or something like that.
You don't understand. You don't see me.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think that's the first bonding for that one, because it's wearing something like a belt, and it has cloth on its fins.
Maybe that's just because they're getting it ready. They're preparing it. They have to put the harness on first.
I feel like this is going to be. I feel like this is because this is potentially an older one. This is them doing like a ceremony with like maybe the
Tulkun send the priest and the Omaticaya send one too. Well, a priest, you know what I mean.
Kind of priest off. I can see that happening. Yeah. Again, the Tulkun itself is going to be insane. Like seeing that on the big screen in 3D.
That's
going to be gigantic.
It's going to be crazy.
I mean, me and T-Base were lucky enough to see the Tulkun scene after Avatar Remaster in 3D. So, yeah, it's going to look really good.
People screaming because they think a whale's going to come out of the screen. Or just me screaming because I'm so excited, and then when I get walked out, I'll just have to say it was because I thought the whale was going to get me.
It might happen with some people. Some people might freak out.
Yeah, I think chat was saying, do the the two figures on the top and the bottom? Like, what do we think that they're like? Can are they identifiable? I mean, I don't think you can really see.
I was guessing Soraya and maybe Aonung or he's got short hair though, doesn't he? It's so hard to
You
tell.
think it could be a guy?
That looks like a guy, so
maybe it's a guy and a girl, right? That's like them coming together in marriage or something.
It could even be. It could be it's like Tonawari and Rodel doing the
Oh,
ceremony if they're the leaders.
Maybe like Jake and Neytiri, they were mated before Ewa because they did it at the Tree of Voices. Maybe the Metkaina, they do it in front of Tulkun. That's how they are mated before Ewa.
And
the Tulkun is the vicar.
And the full crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. You gave me an idea. What if that's exactly how it plays out, but then one of the Tulkuns flips out and kills a bunch of Metkaina, and that's why Tonavari banished him?
Oh, yeah,
because he's a killer.
Pekan, because he just lost it and didn't want to be part of the ceremony.
Right, exactly. Sort of like, I mean, we've talked about Moana before. Remember how Moana's dad refused to go and leave the island because he had that traumatic experience. He lost his brother. And so every time Moana went out, he would scold her. It's the same thing with Tonawari.
That's true. That I could totally see that. That Tonawari's got some kind of relationship with Pekan, saying that's made him so antithetical towards it. Oof.
Right, I think a good time to move to the next, unless anyone's got any closing thoughts on this one. Oh,
no,
okay.
No thoughts from me on this one.
All right, so this is the last page. That's the actual back page of the book of the Art of Avatar: The Way of Water, and we see Kiri on next to an Ilu. It seems
they're in a helical, spinning around each other, going up.
This again looks ceremonial. Almost like the Ikran.
Yeah, it looks like they're dancing.
She's not connected to it, though, is she?
No, I don't think
she's just swimming with it.
Ashen, can you zoom in?
It's so hard to tell.
No, I don't think.
I mean, look at
again. That's also a concept art.
She might
so
be.
You might not include that in the concept. You might.
It looks like they're just swimming together.
Yeah, I think they're just having a good time, just having a swim. I think.
Yeah.
Also, I agree with DJ in the chat. The fact that Kiri does actually look fantastic in that picture. Like she's a lot bigger than I realized. I like it. I know she's going to be younger, but I think I imagined her as smaller, like Tuk sized in my head, which is obviously not correct. But seeing her there like that next to the Ilu makes sense.
I mean, we don't really know how big that Ilu is.
I mean,
but it's a beautiful animal. I really like the wings at the back and just a long neck. It's very graceful.
I just can't wait to see close-ups of the Ilu's faces. I'm really curious. They're going to be so,
they look really cute.
So adorable.
What?
Yeah.
Actually,
it's like they're permanently smiling. They're so cute.
Yeah, and with the big eyes.
It's just happy to be there. It's like, yes.
It's like a nice.
Are the Ilu supposed to be the dire horse of the sea? That was what they were called, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes sense that they would be like more gentle.
Yep.
There's no real animals the Navi have which are like sort of pet dogs. Maybe like the Ilu can tap into that because
they actually did have other animal. I mean, you'd have to read like the books from way back when, but they had other animals in the Metkaina village. I forget the names. More like pigs and dogs and stuff that they would keep around.
Really? Like viper wolves?
Yeah. No. I forget the name of it. They were more analogous to a pig.
Right. I thought the reason they didn't have dogs was because they were still like pre-civilized. Like as in that basically we tamed wolves alongside agriculture and stuff like that, and that they have never reached that stage because they didn't have the surplus of food.
Seth just said it in the chat. It was called a fwampop. That's the name of the animal I was talking about. So they have domesticated some animals, You just never saw him in the first movie.
Interesting.
Right, yeah. So that's the entire Art of Avatar book. Get it for just 30 British pounds.
We don't have an affiliate link, so just go and search for it yourselves.
We don't know how much that 30 British pounds will be worth by the time it comes out, but
Yes, probably not a lot.
Does this mean you guys in the UK are going to get it like a month before with the people in the United States again?
I don't think so.
That's what happened with the last one. They came
We
out
just have
way
to
early.
pray.
All right, so moving on to the next book, we have the Visual Dictionary of Avatar: The Way of Water.
You know what? Before we even start on this, right? You know what? Why don't we have an Avatar visual dictionary? I hope we get one of them as well.
Oh, that is true. It's true. We do that in some books.
I think the
I
time
know
has
we have-
come and gone for that.
Yeah, probably. But it would just,
Yeah.
it's going to feel weird, right? If you've got this and one for each sequel
Yeah.
and then not the original.
We didn't.
It's like,
I mean, it's the survival guide, the version of this.
I don't think so. Because these are quite like common. Like DK do a lot of these for a lot of different film franchises. You know, the Star Wars ones are really famous. You see them all the time. That I just wish, I hope that maybe they do one retroactively.
Well, you know about the visual exploration book that came out a month or two ago, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's very
That's-
similar to that. Yeah.
I think that's what you're asking about. That's the closest thing they've got.
Yeah. I just expect, because this is going to be like 250 pages, something like that, and that the world of Avatar book wasn't that long. It's
Oh,
quite
I think
short.
the World of Avatar book was pretty long. Wait, it's a page.
It was
numbers.
actually it was kind of
Yeah.
small. No.
No,
We're talking about the
we're talking about
previous
the
one.
other one.
Okay.
A visual exploration came out like 3 months ago, maybe.
But yeah,
it's a
that is
pretty-
worth
it's a
noting
small
that
book.
The
Yeah,
Art of Pandora book will, the Art of Avatar book will actually have a bunch of pages.
And
a lot
I'd
of
love to
pages.
see I'd love to see a collected place for all that concept art from the original movie, let's say, because again, we don't have that. I think that's kind of just the thing that I would really love to see. Just even if
Yeah.
it's just a combination of both, just something that's kind of got, here's all that stuff that was put together in the early 2000s, and like, because we know that James Cameron had concept art from Avatar. There's a bunch in Tech Noir about his art book that's from like the 90s. So I think it would just be nice to have that all in one place.
Agreed. We'll see.
One gal, we're about to. This is what we're about to look through, the German Amazon the preview. This is where these images are from. So yeah, everyone, this one is from a German Amazon, the preview of the visual dictionary. Before we jump into this, but yeah, I think, should we look at the ones on the front page?
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. So this book's just like the heavy lore version of the art book, right? It's just going through everything really in Pandora and like giving in-depth explanations for each thing. And see, in this book we'll get the full explanation of the Tolkien, but we don't have that today. But we do have other things like the skim wing, and I think that's all from the. We have the utility knife as well. We'll get to that. Any thoughts from the front page?
The
Yeah,
Tulkun's missing all those things, all those long tails. What do you call them? He's just got his flippers.
It's got photoshopped off. Oh no, it's
Yeah.
there. It's there.
Where?
Yeah, it's along its body.
okay, that one. Yeah.
And that's not Payakan, is it? Is it got both of its flippers?
It seems to have
maybe
its front
And
right
it's got
flipper
big
intact.
red horns. So I think
Yeah.
that's
I
an
think
old male.
I think that he's got the same markings around his mouth as Payakan on the other concept art.
What does it
could be
say is
before
that-
he gets his fin. Oh, is it the other side with his fin?
Yeah, I was going to say maybe it's the other side.
think it
What
might
does
be.
it say on the text? Does it just say Tolkien?
Yeah,
it
just a
does.
token.
Okay, if we look at the bottom, the
Yeah,
hexbot heavy.
Straight out of Aliens again.
Yeah,
Got the
and it's
exact
not
same-
called the hexbot. It's called the hexbot heavy, which implies the hexbot lights and the general purpose and the long range and a lot of diversity in designs, which is exciting.
I
Yep.
love this one. This is one of my favorite designs that we've seen.
Yeah.
It just because it reminds me so much of Aliens, but also because it's so good to see more of the human technology.
Oh yeah.
And whether this is a drone, is it maybe remote controlled? How many of them are there? And again, like Clee said, the fact that it's the heavy version. What do the light versions do? Is this for building or is it for something else?
They could have dual roles. They could be modified to do patrols or combat or construction. And I think they're autonomous. I don't think they're piloted.
Yeah, it's like a futuristic rumba. By the way, they just move around Bridgehead.
Yeah, and I love, like AG says, I love that they keep the black and yellow construction theme. It's definitely a Cameron trademark with the power loader from Aliens. I don't know if any of you guys remember the deleted scene from T2 where the T1000 touches the yellow and black railing. It's like it's kind of a trope with Cameron.
It's even got the little red light on top, which the
strobe light.
Yeah, it's like literally he's gone. What would happen if a facehugger and a power loader had a baby?
Good call.
That's exactly what it
even
is.
looks like it has some kind of tail, some kind of instrument at the back.
Looks like a drill.
Oh, yeah.
It's a drill for sure. You can see the spiral.
Yeah, so it really is like a facehugger.
I wonder if Jim's done what he did with Aliens, where he's trademarked these just in case they ever become real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
one of
things,
isn't it, Cameron? Was it like the smart gun in
Yeah, so the smart gun in Aliens. Yeah, for people who don't know, the smart gun in Aliens, he actually basically copyrighted an autonomous gun that was mounted to a person using like an arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he trademarked it just in case it ever became real.
It has become real already, I think. But yes, right. Let's get on to the first page then. Let's see what we got.
I think there's some things on there that aren't in the book, that aren't in the pages.
Yeah, sure. Well,
like
not
the eggs.
Yeah, like the crab suit.
Is the crab suit actually on the pages?
No, it's not.
The pages we have, we don't have those. There's quite a few things we don't actually have.
Right, so I think we should look at the things on the front page.
Yeah, let's look at the crab suit.
Okay. The crab suit.
That's like the same picture from the original concept art way back when.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
I think it's a different pose, isn't it?
Might be.
A slightly rotation. Slight rotation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, we don't need to dwell on it for too long.
It doesn't. The one thing about the crab suit is I don't think it doesn't look like it's a weapon. It looks like it's more exploration.
Right. It doesn't have any weapons on it.
I mean, you could probably fit it with weapons pretty easily. These seem pretty dexterous.
Is it an unobtainium miner? Do we think?
Maybe. I could imagine
it's
a
way
drill
too
on
small.
those
I think
arms.
it's you use it to hook up underwater cables or whatever you need to do underground.
They did mention that it's amphibious, so they use it in the base too, because it can walk around. It's not exclusively for marine operations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it looks like it can tuck all of its limbs in and then be really hydrodynamic.
There's another shot of it underwater where everything's tucked in and it's just kind of like a submarine.
Mm-hmm. Looks really interesting.
And then we've got, I guess, one big one that's just striking is Jake and his war paint. Like, very similar to the one that he was wearing in the original.
Before I go to the battle in the final fight.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of his original paint, just kind of different color.
And then the final one, actually, maybe there's two more. The bone, I don't know if the bone thing that Neytiri wears, Neytiri's bone collar. And
it's very intricate. You can see they actually made it.
I wonder what it's the bone collar of. I wonder what the bones are made of.
I was wondering too.
Because that's quite a lot of bones.
Probably chicken wings or something.
And a very finely made basket.
Yeah, the fruits. It's those purple ones that's the one that Jake ate when you left the thing for the first time, right?
Grace threw him one. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody knows the name of all these fruits.
Cool. It's
yeah. If anyone in chat knows the name of that fruit, shout it out.
It's the purple squishy one.
The purple squishy one. It's probably got a name.
It's not a shape you see on Earth baskets.
No.
I'm sure they came up with a new pattern of weaving just to make it different from ours.
Right. Reminds
I
me
really
of a
wanna try-
cornucopia.
I want to try that
Mhm.
blue one, man. Look at that blue one. I
It
really
would
want to try
kill you, man, unless
yeah,
you're
but-
blue yourself.
And the other thing behind it looks like bananas.
Yeah, they do.
You know, that's one thing they never really addressed in the first movie, and I'm kind of curious. Maybe it's been mentioned elsewhere. Is like whether or not the RDA and the humans on the base ate strictly human rations from Earth, or if they were able to eat Pandoran fruit.
Because yeah, why were they growing? I guess maybe they were growing them for the Avatar pilots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chat thinks that the bones are from a fish, which makes sense. If that's a gift from one of them at Kaina, that yeah, I could sort of see that being a fish, like some
These
kind of fish
flowers
thing.
look like the flowers near Home Tree.
Mm-hmm.
The flowers on the outside. Maybe that's a piece of Metkaina crafting. Or Omatikaya, I mean.
It would be cool.
All right, I
Should we
think it's
shall we
time,
jump to the first
Yep.
page, Ashin?
it's time to move on.
There's just so much on this. It's insane. It's just ridiculous.
This
Oh,
is
it's
only
called
a small fraction of it too.
It's called the
Okay, this
Ultramalti
one is
fruit.
really interesting.
This is a high quality page in my opinion.
I'm just gonna sit
Got a
back and
lot
let
of
Clee
here.
cover this. Clee, I think
Okay.
Clee and Ashin
You
can
want
just
to take
take.
the lead, Clee? Where do you want to go?
The first thing I want to look at is the rebreather, the recon breather, because we've been speculating about that thing they hold under their noses, and that's the thing they use. You can see it's a tiny tank. They don't have a huge tank to lug around. They can stay for a while inside human installation. It would be comfortable. They only need to take a sip every minute or two, it says. So that answers a lot of questions we've been having about the previews we saw, where
Yeah.
we were wondering, can Recom stay inside human installations? It's all there, man.
I was going to say something similar, and I'm going to guess that there's a reason that they built that in as a plot device, because somebody's going to lose their recon breather and be in trouble. It's pretty clever.
It's going to be just funny, like listening to Quaritch do a speech, and then every couple of minutes he's almost like semi Darth Vader, like.
Okay, maybe we can look at the patch, the mission patch, or the insignia
this
on the
patch.
left.
Yeah. So what it says on it says, "Deja Blue, we will tread on you." That is so sinister, so sinister.
Yeah.
So it's all the recoms, which like.
Okay, we will tread on you. I think is really interesting because it's obviously a reference to "Don't Tread on Me," which describes a lot of what the Navi stands for. Like,
which part?
they're not we will tread on you or don't tread on me. Because the Navi, they don't, at the start of the first movie, they don't really care that much that the RDA is doing its thing in its mind. They just want to be left alone and their lens to be left alone, you know? And the RDA didn't leave them alone. And so they just come out and say it right on the badge. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, these guys are the elite commandos of the RDA,
Yeah.
and they're not making any bones about it. They're out. This is deliberately aggressive rather than just defensive.
The slogan promotes the unstoppable force of the recon front line, which
but
you can see. It's,
at the same time, hold on, we're not done with the patch.
Yeah, I'm not done either. I was going to say, I wanted to add the snake. The Q is a snake, right? They're literally, and this is something I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I've speculated for years now that these they're gonna forcefully not appropriate, but they're gonna take Pandoran animals, and rather than doing Sahelu, they're gonna take them by force and try to command them.
Yeah. And something else we've been talking about is using Sahelu as a method of interrogation. So that also feeds into the snake.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really clever. I like that. The obvious one is that it's a human skull inside a Navi skull.
Mm-hmm.
And it has Quaritch's scar.
Yeah, it's got Quaritch's scar on the skull.
Yep.
Yeah, so Quaritch is probably the first one. Like, kind of like Grace Augustine was the first Avatar. Quaritch is the first Recom, I think. And maybe they even came up with the whole program specifically for him, and everyone else is just an afterthought.
Yeah, they go, look, we've lost him, we want him back. Let's create this, and also let's use the technology we've learned on Pandora.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that "We Will Tread on You" is like very reminiscent of the "Don't Tread on Me," the flag that's used in the US. You know,
It's a
and
deliberate nod
also
to
has
that.
the snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also First Recon, it sounds just like First Recon, which Quaritch was in, and Jake was also in.
He said First Recon, 3 tours in
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Exactly. So First Recon, I think Quaritch picked that name. And again, it's pretty funny. Like Deja Blue is like it's a pun. It's
Yeah, this is another James Cameron
They
joke.
claim back. Yeah.
It does seem very Quaritch centric, doesn't it? This one, it's almost as if you
I
reckon
mean,
Quaritch
he's the
is the
commander.
leader.
Yeah,
He-
100%. He's got to be the commander of the recon unit. I think it might even mention it in one of these pages, actually.
All right.
Clee, do you want to talk about the tag? Since
yes,
we're
the
close
dog
to it.
tag. So this is Quaritch's tag.
If everyone tilts their head 90 degrees to the right,
you can read it. It's got his name.
Okay, where it would say his gender, M or F, it says Recom M, which is
Oh yeah, it's definitely Quaritch's badge. It's got his name on it.
that's like part of his identity now. It's probably on his passport or whatever. It's a Recom now. It's not human anymore. And where it says none, I'm guessing that's religion. And at both the numbers, probably a serial number or whatever. I don't think there is a birth date in there.
Yeah, on a traditional dog tag, you're right. The last line is faith or religion.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
the
Quaritch,
grenades
not
are
a religious
interesting.
guy. I heard it here first. Quaritch, no religion.
Yep. The grenades are interesting, but I'm a bit confused that they all say frag. I don't know. I'd expect HE and incendiary, but whatever.
Say HE on them, like you got a HE.
Yeah, but HE frag, I don't know. Maybe there are different kinds of frag, but
well, fragmentation grenades are meant. They're like anti-infantry. They're meant to do as much damage to as many targets, groups of targets as possible.
I wonder if, just to jump back to the idea I just thought of, I wonder if him having none as his religion is again compounding the fact that Quaritch really lacks any spiritual feeling whatsoever. That for him, it's just pure, hard, cold fact, and he doesn't care about anything else. You know, there isn't anything there for him. You know,
or maybe he used to have a religion, but being brought back from death as a recon changed that.
You probably wouldn't if you. Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
It's kind of like the Empire in Star Wars. They take all your soul and your faith out of you, and you're just a soulless cog in the wheel.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Okay, where to next? Remember, so Clee, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. We can look at the weapons now.
Okay. Which weapon takes your fancy?
Let's look at the pistol first.
All right, the pistol.
Which
Recon 33R pistol.
Yeah, it says 40 rounds a minute.
That's not too fast.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that's interesting is the huge trigger guard, because this is made for huge fingers and it's probably a lot bigger than you imagine. It probably fires huge bullets.
All these weapons are sized up for the recoms. They're not
exactly.
human-sized.
They can carry heavier weapons, more ammunition, and
I mean, it says they're brutal. It says the recon pistol, like all recon weaponry, is built to maximize devastation.
It also says they use hollow point rounds. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with weaponry, but hollow points basically, it says just like it says, they're designed to explode on impact, and they have a lot of stopping power.
Which brings us back to the grenades, because that's the exact concept of these grenades as well. As you said, they throw fragmentation everywhere, and even if the grenade misses you, the fragmentation is going to get you.
Right.
So yeah, that's a big gun, and I know it looks like the ergonomics make sense. I'm talking about the assault rifle, by the way. But yeah,
Which
all
one?
of these guns,
This one,
that one.
I love that one.
Yeah, huge magazine.
It's actually very evocative of modern rifles. Maybe not an AR-15, but it's got kind of that desert camo, desert look to it.
I just wish it was
Mhm.
green.
The
Maybe-
pulse rifle, you're thinking?
Maybe they
Yeah.
come in different colors. Yeah, it's like a mix of a pulse rifle and an AR-15.
Yeah.
This one is to be used in the kill zone, which we'll get to later. That's
yeah.
what the environment's like here.
Also, that knife just looks really cool.
Yeah, I was thinking with the knife, with the size of the Navi, that's probably just a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a two-handed thing.
A two-handed sword, yeah. Oh, there's the cover. So what do you
that
think of
huge, the
this,
huge gun.
this big machine
Yeah,
gun down
50
here?
caliber gun. That's a Anamnesis. You seem to know a bit more about guns, so you'll be able to tell us this is a pretty big bullet.
Also, what's the thing about 3 barrels? So it's shooting 3 bullets at a time.
Or maybe
Remember-
it's rotating.
I remember the gun which looked like this from the first film. It was like mounted on the side of the helicopters, and
Oh,
also
yes.
on top of Papa Dragon. I think there was no, it wasn't Papa Dragon. It was the Valkyrie shuttle had that on top as well.
So
Had,
here's an interesting question from chat that says that far in the future, wouldn't the weapons be much more advanced? Clay?
Well, swords or spears, they have been used for hundreds of years. And really guns, like we're still using guns, they are probably much more accurate and much more easier to maintain and light than ours, but I'm not surprised that the general principle would stay. Like ship cannons, those have been used for hundreds and hundreds of years. And you make gradual improvements, but a real shift in technology, it doesn't happen every couple dozen years. So no, I'm not surprised they would still be using guns.
do anyone know anything about these bullets? What does that mean? I don't really understand.
I
Linkable
think
scale assault.
linkable means you can put them on a belt and use them in a belt-fed weapon.
Makes sense. See, you got your comms. It makes sense. You put it around your throat, and the push to talk button on it with capable speakers. I mean,
Recom-sized.
all the gamers in the chat know the microphone push to talk. Not too complicated. Hydration pack as well. Makes
Thirsty
sense.
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are big organisms. They need a lot of water, I bet.
I'm getting serious Vietnam vibes off of the recoms.
Yeah, maybe you can look at the uniforms now.
Time. All right. I'm just gonna pan through them while if you guys want to talk while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I think the Vietnam vibe comes from the fact that they're not really wearing any protection. They just have light clothes to easily move around, maybe protect them from vegetation, but they don't wear plates or like shoulder pads, or
Also,
they just
maybe,
have a rig and a light uniform. That's
yeah.
very Vietnam-like, and that's also the same kind of gear the Space Marines in Aliens wore.
I was going to
which
say,
is
I
also
think the level of customization that we see maybe also is what I feel. You know, the fact that each one seems to have be given like a
Yes.
certain level of freedom with what they are and aren't wearing.
Yeah, they are special forces.
Fortunate sun blaring in the distance.
Exactly, man.
I mean, this is a super interesting thing about recoms, right? Is are they being forced? Like, could you imagine you're a soldier, you die, you wake up and you're suddenly still alive, but in a different body? We don't know to what extent they've actually chosen to be put into this position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I think is going to be super interesting, you know.
And also, they would live mostly amongst themselves because they don't breathe the same air. They are not going to sleep in a barrack with humans. They're not going to be eating around humans because they don't eat the same food. So they probably only live amongst themselves and have limited contact with the actual RDA.
Yeah.
So I think
it's
something
going to be
really
crazy,
interesting is
actually.
going to be.
Because think about it, and this is going ahead a bit, but if what is stated on that future, on that bridgehead sheet is that they are colonizing, these recoms are basically fighting to destroy the ecosystem in which they can survive.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I think we theorized before on one of them that maybe the promise that the kind of promises that if you do this, we'll let you be human again. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Like
So
you
that's actually
wake up in
crazy.
your recon
Yeah.
body and that's the offer they give you, or they can turn you back off if you're really unhappy.
To be honest, I think they're all just happy to be revived because they're all dead soldiers, right?
Yeah, you would be.
But at the same time, right, if you're the RDA and the one soldier that you sent to Pandora did what Jake did, you'd think that they'd be quite hesitant to put a bunch of other soldiers into avatar bodies. I bet they've got kill switches.
Well, that's brutal. Kill switches.
Yeah, that
I
if
mean-
one of them decides to go off, they just pull the plug.
On the ISV ships, the cryopods have kill switches. In case the situation arises where the ship is in trouble and there's not enough power to take care of the cryopods and the cargo, or they have the option of terminating the sleepers. So I don't think they would mind doing it to the recoms.
The recoms are way more expensive. They probably cost millions of dollars.
Yeah, but if one starts to go all Jake Sully, they have that option. They'd be
Right.
mindful of that.
Right.
I think
it makes me wonder, though. I mean, it's something I've been wondering about for a while. The old way of linking up an avatar to an individual, yeah, it's still really expensive, but you could let the avatar go and you would still have your human asset. You wouldn't lose it. If you're taking someone's essence or their brain or soul
Yeah.
and permanently putting it into a body, if you lose that avatar or that recom, it's done. You can't get it back.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous game. Like Jake, during the first movie, never really had an option to really defect until the end of the movie, where they did the magic with Awa. These guys, they can do it at any time.
Mm-hmm. I don't. I had to step away for a minute, but I don't know if Avatar guy will probably agree with me here. This is like totally straight out of the USMC Colonial Marines from Aliens, and I think
Yeah.
most of these
We
guys
do
are going to
agree.
be done by the end of the movie. There might be 2 left.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 left if they're lucky. Because we were saying it's really reminded me of Vietnam, and
Yeah.
that's also that visual from Aliens that they're also allowed to customize their armor.
Yeah, and
But also it looks very sleek and modern, and like this wouldn't look like the chest rigs. They wouldn't look out of place in Call of Duty or whatever.
right.
They are very modern, and yet they feel Vietnam.
Yep.
I think back to the point where you were saying that you would be surprised if they're all dead by the same, like most of them are dead by the end of the movie. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they're all back by the 3rd movie.
Well, you guys remember there was talk about the 15 minutes of footage they screened, and there's a scene where they're stalking around. I don't know if it's at night, but it's in the jungle, and the Sullies fight back. They're using like guerrilla tactics to fight with stealth, and they axe and knife a few of these guys, and they take a couple of them out, I think.
Yeah,
maybe they
just
back.
could be fodder.
I wonder how. That's a good point. Like, so the big thing about these recoms is that they can die and come back. So it's the deja blue.
Where did they say that though?
I
mean, if they can bring them back once, they probably can do it again.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying a minute ago. I don't understand how, if they're unless they're photocopying the essence of these people into an avatar. I kind of thought it was like a one and done deal. Like if you lose recom, they're gone.
I think they've got somewhere on file their like memories and everything, and then they can like you said, they copy and paste that into the body of a blank, which would be like the recom, probably bit grown from their own DNA.
Yeah.
But if that's true, what stops them from making 50 crutches?
Well, that's a really good point. Maybe.
Yeah. So for that reason alone, maybe it's a one and done deal.
No, I think that's a matter of like human nature, though. Like having 50 of the same people, they're going to start freaking out. I don't think that's a good experiment. Or it could be against like
in Avatar 5. It is all crutches, and it's like the Matrix, where it's like tons of Agent Smiths. Yeah,
maybe it's gonna be like Superman 3, where you had Dark Superman and regular Superman, and they're fighting each other.
Oh my god, that would be crazy! Like if Quaritch sees the light and betrays them, and then they send Quaritch in again after Quaritch. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Things
that
are
would
gonna
be
get
the best.
crazy.
Okay, we've called it. It's happening. Jim, if you're listening, that's a freebie.
It's going to be like that scene in Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds and versus the bodybuilder Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I mean,
the final scene of Avatar 5 is going to be Jake Sully walking down the street like in the Matrix Revolutions, and all the Agent Smiths just all Quaritches.
It's not. It's going to be Quaritch walking down the street to fight his evil self.
Exactly.
With all the Quaritches. At that point, every character is just Quaritch. all the Sullys have died.
No, but back to the clone thing. Why they wouldn't have 50 Quaritches? Like, I think we've seen enough in like TV shows and everything where like the main character whatever gets cloned and they're like, "It's me. No, he's me. No, it's like I'm me." And they're just arguing. I really don't think that having two like a perfect clone of someone both alive at the same time is a good idea.
Maybe.
No, probably not.
I don't think they would even test it.
And like Anamnesis said, right? In that 15 minutes they showed at D23, one of the things that Neytiri allegedly said was that she will kill him as many times as she needs to, and like calls him a demon.
Yeah.
Which again,
well, she killed him once.
He might come back. Yeah.
But it might be foreshadowing.
Yeah. So some guy in chat says recon must stand for something, but it's a contraction. I think the full title is recombinance.
Yes,
which is a recombination of, I guess, again, I think it's a recombination of these grown bodies, which are Na'vi and their memories. One question we actually had for you, Anamnesis, and where you had to step away was the gun, the 50 caliber gun on the right-hand side. It has 3 barrels.
Yeah.
And we wondered if you had anything to say about this.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering if it's... I mean, it does kind of also resemble a standard semi-automatic rifle, but it's so hard to say just looking at.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I was wondering
like
if it's a rotating barrel, like it's a 3-barrel.
There's a handguard at the bottom, and there's that rail at the top. So maybe not, but that's a shame.
I wonder what.
It's kind of hard to tell how it's fed. It looks like it's got a regular magazine, but it's missing.
Well, the bullets at the top say they are linkable, so that means belt fed. Right.
You need more detail.
Was that the fact it looks that it's like blue. Like maybe is it mounted on something in at sea?
Or maybe it's for use at night.
Yeah.
Very hard to say. I just figured that 3-barrel system was like a rotating, like a sort of like a
chain
gun. Minigun.
Yeah. Or like again T2.
But it doesn't.
It's all like throwbacks.
Yep.
Have you guys seen this? By the way, like these weaponries are all scale based. A scale suit platform.
That's that augmented robot thing that you see in the teaser with the guy.
Oh yes,
that's what the scale.
That's why it must be called.
Yeah.
I see. That's interesting.
They modified existing equipment from the Skell suits for the recoms because they're about the same size.
Right. Yeah. No. So
maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they built the Skell suits so they could be able to make more use of their recom-sized equipment.
Yeah. Could be either way.
Yeah.
I mean, it says right there they're modified from the Skell suit platform.
Yeah. It said which way around it was there, but it's
okay. I yield.
All right. Do we want to go to Bridgehead?
Yes, let's go.
Oh yeah, best. This is it. The best page.
This is our favorite page, which we've been looking forward to. All right, here is the Bridgehead satellite map.
We've been looking at this for like 2 hours,
trying to work out everything about it. It's
okay. We have tried to work out where that shot in the trailer with the helicopters lifting off is, but we haven't been able to. We're sorry. We wanted to wow you with it, but.
It's a big area though, right? So it's city core is 6 miles, I guess, in diameter. Yeah, in diameter. So that this is
I did some basic measurements, and I was saying earlier that this is bigger than the Large Hadron Collider in CERN, just a little bit.
It's huge.
Nice.
Which is there are several cities inside the Large Hadron Collider diameter, so that's pretty big.
Massive.
It says it has 30 kilometers of defensive walls, so it's all the way around.
So it's, I mean, This begs so many questions just seeing this. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" I couldn't believe it. I mean, how did they manage to build this so fast? Like, but did they drop that ring from space to be able to get the wall up?
I think they've been building it since the first movie, but it's in a different area, and they never knew about it.
Right.
I mean,
Because
we can
remember,
answer that
there-
question here, I think, in this section. So for several years, Bridgehead will be in constant state of mega construction. I guess that's how. It's just a city of 1,000 cranes.
It doesn't
okay,
say
the
that when it
sling load
started.
system.
Yeah,
That's
true.
interesting.
Maybe
And then-
that's you were speculating earlier that the large ring on the right is maybe that's that sling load system. I don't
Maybe,
know,
yeah.
but-
We were speculating that may be the anchor point for a space elevator, because the
Yeah.
gravity on Pandora is lower than Earth, so it would be easier. And also, they got unobtainium on tap, so surely it must make it easier.
I legitimately
Space
can't get over how
elevator.
good it looks, man. Like, look at it.
The amount of thought, which it's a full city. Like,
It looks
zoom in a
amazing.
little bit.
And the fact that it also resembles Earth. So, like, I think we've discussed this, right? That from zoomed out, it looks both like Earth, a little bit like the Death Star, but like the symbolism of the fact that this is so much like Earth, and it's dead.
Yeah, there's highways.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just did some math too. It says there's 2 million population of 2 million people in Bridgehead, and it's about 28 square miles, which is about 70,000 people per square mile, which is roughly the population density of something like New York City.
So
That's a lot of people in there.
It's a lot of people.
How would they fit that many people in there? It seems like there's a lot of construction and stuff and empty areas of land.
Yeah,
I mean,
the same.
it just that's.
I mean, that's the projected people.
yeah, I
It
think
says
that's
yeah.
projected.
2 million upon completion.
target
so maybe they're not all there
population.
yet.
So again, this actual page shows something massive. Like, this is a huge spoiler, something we didn't know. That the humans have come to Pandora to colonize it. They're actually going to take it over. That it's no longer just we're mining this for a special element to take back to Earth. It's like Total War.
Yeah, they are taking this seriously now.
It's a real base. It's a real colony.
Okay, we can look at one of the first interesting things is the kill zone all around it. If we zoom in, we can see the anamnesis. I think you pointed out that the terrain is scarred all around the base.
They drew in all the excavation marks. You can see where all the tractors and excavators have been digging at the earth. There's it's like claw marks in the ground.
Oh, we can actually see some yellow bulldozers.
You
They
wanna-
look tiny, and
Those
they
are
probably are
tiny
the
bulldozers?
huge ones.
Yeah, those are absolutely massive. If you remember from the start of the first movie, the giant yellow. Oh no, are these the ones which trampled down?
Yeah, I don't think it's the bucket trucks. Yes, I think
It's
it's
hard
the
to tell.
bulldozers.
Yeah,
But
bulldozers.
that's complete speculation.
It could be.
But
it
that's
could be
how I feel.
To the we were just talking about the Project 880 stuff the other day, and the description provided like about Bridgehead on this page, it really parallels with the kind of imagery from the Project 880 script about how the perimeter of the RDA footprint had to be defended at all times, and there was that concept painting of how all the flora and fauna were coming out of the tree line, and there were just rows and rows of amp suits and soldiers firing at them.
Yeah.
It's like I can totally picture that being a scene here. It's going to be like
It would make sense,
the attack
right?
on the Valkyrie bomber times 100.
It absolutely makes sense that you've got to get rid of the tree line. And it's like they have what? So what is the kill zone? So it's a
buffer zone.
3 kilometer wide area. So 3 kilometers from the wall of just flat land, no cover, no nothing.
Right.
I was thinking it's like Area 51 or something. And these walls.
It's more like the what they call it, the no man's zone in World War One, where they'd all
I was
down.
thinking
Absolutely. You can even see shell craters.
Oh god, yeah.
And the fact they're pumping it full of pesticides constantly to keep
that's
back.
Sorry, that's another thing I meant to mention, because in the original 880 script, the plants fight back too. They launch like stingers and poison and shit, and I bet we're gonna see that this time around. Even the plants are gonna be fighting back.
Yeah, they've made like a desert.
I mean, it does say all of that is made to prevent Awa's eyes and talons from approaching. So they really, this is built to defend from Awa, not from wildlife or from Navi. This is they're taking this seriously.
The humans are fully prepared in this film. Also, I guess worth noting is the defensive perimeter incorporates incredible firepower, including a variety of guns and missile systems. And
I
obviously
think that's
the
a missile.
giant
If you zoom into that thumbnail, is that a missile?
it's a
Firing
missile
on the
being
left?
Oh,
launched.
it's a
Yeah,
missile.
the missile's being launched.
There you go.
offshore. I mean, it's brutal, right? They just destroyed all the wildlife and just made it absolutely like. This is like it says somewhere that Jake's warriors and other Navi, like what would they do? There's nothing they can do. You can't.
Yeah,
I'm
against
not sure
this.
how many Navi it would take to raid this place, but with those walls set up, it would be absolutely brutal.
And
It would be a nightmare.
note as well that the kill zone extends underwater.
Oh yeah.
At the bottom
Oh,
right,
yeah.
it says
Yeah,
marine kill
Marine,
zone.
the
So
marine
they
kill.
also shoot all of the fishes and whales.
Not the fishies, man.
So what do you guys think? I'm going to speculate. If you scroll up a little bit to the floodgate
Oh, the floodgates
at the north side,
here.
the north
or-
side,
Okay.
the top of Bridgehead, the flood control dam.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
going to guess that
Oh.
the actual title of the movie, The Way of Water, is going to be connected to this. This is how the climax of the movie is going to play out. The Tulkun is going to come through, destroy the flood control dam, and completely flood Bridgehead.
This is a good theory.
Yeah.
Way of water.
And then Tonawari will say, "The Sky People will discover the way of water." Boom!
It looks into the camera.
It could be like Saruman's place, right? The floodgates.
Yeah.
It's like
Building your evil lair under a dam, not the best idea.
No, I don't think Bridgehead will be under threat in the second movie.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I mean, if
Yeah.
Spider and whoever is with him are literally managing to get into the moon pools, it's obviously
But
not
the
as...
moon pool is on the ship, and the ship is not in
right,
in the
okay,
base.
okay.
I think the
Bridgehead.
Sea Dragon's too big to actually fit inside the defensive seawall.
Speaking of Sea Dragon, do we think this red ship here is the Sea Dragon?
No, I think it's bigger than that.
You think it's
Yeah.
bigger?
Like way bigger.
How big is that?
Like the
is
size
that-
of Titanic or bigger.
Look at the small ships you can see around. There are
Yeah.
But
six small
you say
ships.
look at the small ships, right? But how big are these ships? Are we
They're
talking?
probably pretty big.
Those are like
Actually.
they're like little frigates or
Yeah,
runabouts.
because this place is like look at the size of buildings. Like
Okay, yeah, if you look at the airport terminal, because this really looks like an airport terminal. Yeah, right there, if you zoom in
whereabouts?
at the airfield.
Okay, airfield. I am going blind.
It's in
It's
the
in
middle.
the middle of the screen.
Oh, right
It's
in the middle.
marina.
Yeah, that
Okay,
looks
okay.
like an airport, right? No,
It
not
does.
that part. The bottom left.
Oh, right, it's literally right
See,
there.
that
Okay.
thing
Yeah, I
with
see
the
it.
round
I see
thing. Yeah, exactly. The
Right there.
airfield. Yeah, this
T-base and
round
Ashen
thing
can't read.
with airplanes docked all around it. That looks
It's
like an
true.
airport terminal.
It does. I mean, also you notice the really long. It's
Mm.
not. I don't think it's an inner wall, but at the top of the image, like there's. Can you see that? Is that a runway or is that the inner wall?
Yeah. I'm not sure what that is.
Because it look, or maybe it's what's the train? We saw
Yeah,
the train
yes,
in the
maybe
background,
that's the
right?
spot we are looking for.
This white, this looks like a train here. This white pipe looking thing could be.
It looks like
I
a
mean-
highway to me with like several lanes of trucks.
Oh yeah, it does look.
Oh,
like
and
this
that is,
highway
of
as well,
course, the lost city of Atlantis.
Of course, yes. It's the secret to water.
Any Stargate fans in the chat?
I mean, this is crazy that the fact that they've literally released a satellite image of the entire base. I feel like the level of detail there is ridiculously high.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
do you guys? Okay, here's one that I can think. But in at the bottom, slightly to the right, just to the right of the HQ, and I guess this is another thing to talk about the corporate HQ. Do we think that that's human grass or human vegetation? Because surely AWA's not connected to whatever it is they're growing.
I think you're right.
Yes.
You could be onto something. It's
And that green spot, it really looks like manicured lawn.
And like because or
So
maybe
it's a golf
maybe
course.
it's a golf
It's a
course.
golf
Oh my
course.
god, it's a golf
Yeah.
see the
course.
flag.
It's
the
literally
golf
the golf course for Parker.
That's where Parker's golf.
Oh man, Okay, golfing
We've just
scene
solved
in
it.
Avatar 2 confirmed. Man, I am so
100%.
pumped.
There's going to be a scene of Parker out there golfing with the recoms.
Oh my
We
God.
called it now.
Uh-huh.
I mean, honestly,
it.
that could be a golf course because look, it's really close to the corporate HQ.
Mhm.
Yeah, and close to the habitation zone,
Yeah. And like Clee
which
mentioned this
looks
before.
like
I was going to say about the fact that human plants might love it on Pandora because there's so much CO2 in the
because
air.
of the CO2 in the air.
That's probably where they all go to sip wine and like gloat over their accomplishment as they look out across all of Bridgehead, right?
Yeah, the
Perfect
housing
view.
zone, it looks like the average American suburb. If you look at it, it's all small houses with manicured lawns again. And I
How are they
don't
gonna
think
fit
you
2
can do
million
that
people in?
with Pandoran grass. Or maybe you can, but
Hmm.
I think
You're right.
I think grass would probably have to be within like a dome for the climate or something. Like, do these look like domes for like having maybe a human atmosphere? or
We
something
need
like that?
the Pandoran botanists.
Yeah.
They could be domes.
oh, there are probably going to be domes. I think these are the foundations. It's the future.
Oh,
HQ.
Yeah, corporate HQ. They're gonna have things nice, like
Yeah, they're
greenery.
going to have big domes, and so they can walk outside buildings.
I mean, so that's
without
another
having to put
question.
masks on, right? It's gonna be like,
are they going to dome it or are they going to try and terraform Pandora?
I mean, that's a whole other order of business. You want to start with the dome, because the dome you can get done in a few years.
yeah,
The whole
you
planet.
gotta make your dome before you terraform the planet.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Eric Hallgreen says that's not a base, it's a freaking fortress, which is totally
No.
right.
The Sully family is the fortress.
But I was going to
Yeah.
laugh, say that if Jake says the thing that this family is a fortress, Corrich can make like a little line back to him saying, like, yeah, well, we've got an actual fortress.
Speaking of Jake, in the description there, it says, I forget where it says, but it implies that Jake is basically, there's a deleted scene in the first movie where Jake and Trudy are showing the Metcaina how to attack the Scorpion gunships. And, so they learn the technique, they learn all the weak spots of the RDA ships. So there's an implication here that Jake is instructing other Na'vi about how to attack Bridgehead. He's pointing out their weaknesses. So whatever battles we see taking place at Bridgehead won't be the first ones. It's like they're constantly under attack from different tribes, different animals, and Jake's trying to show them how to hit them.
And I don't think the RDA is staying inside of Bridgehead. So
No.
maybe they never attack Bridgehead, but maybe they are constantly fighting off RDA expeditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, and Jake's experience would be really invaluable because he can tell them if you toss a grenade inside the air intake, that destroys the shuttle. Because that was the secret of winning in the first movie. That was the secret knowledge that the Na'vi needed.
So this is
grenades.
Grenades in the air intake.
I was going to say two things. One, to everyone who's watching right now, remember to like the video because that really helps us. That's just me doing the admin bit. And two, I was thinking about the kill zone, right? That zone. It'll be difficult for anything to get close. If they've got massive guns that are just pummeling anything that comes near it, it's going to be really hard. Which makes me think they will need some kind of like huge tsunami to get close.
Right.
Because they'd surely attack from the sea.
Seems like the sea's a much easier way for sure.
3
kilometers.
Not even the sea. I think you'd really need tsunami because there's a marine kill zone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That to even get close,
you need
you're going to need some active nature.
Yeah, there's going to be like probably like 3 kilometers of water without any life in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's probably mines and drones patrolling.
It's going to be absolutely horrendous. Like Jim's going to genuinely show like the absolutes what humanity can do at its worst to nature. And actually, to Eric who's in chat, I agree with you. I think they will probably get the trailer in November at this stage. But yeah, it's completely barren. Absolute, the worst of what we can do to it, to any area. But so there was a piece of concept art, wasn't there, with a huge storm, like happening. And then the other thing, and again, take this with a pinch of salt, but one of those leaks that I always kept talking back to, one of the people was that they said they worked on VFX, said that they worked on the tsunami.
Yeah.
And I could see that if you are going to try and breach that wall, you are going to need something like that.
Yeah, you need to flood
Like maybe
the
they could even cause it.
Maybe Awa causes it.
Yeah.
If she can
this is the thing.
influence
Awa has picked a side. She's 100% picked a side,
Yeah.
right? Like she picked a side at the end of the first movie.
Avatar guy, she protects the balance of life. She doesn't pick sides.
Wow.
I feel like
the RDA upsets the balance.
Yeah,
I'm the RDA apologist here. I'm the resident RDA guy.
Well, this is what I'm saying. This isn't balance, is it? It's clearly showing that the RDA is there to wipe out everything. That if she protects life, they're on the other end.
Another interesting thing is this base is built to defend against animals and vegetation because that's what they know of Awa. But a tsunami is more than that, and I think they're going to discover in this movie that it's not just the plants and animal, it's the whole planet, and we're going to discover new powers of Awa. Maybe she can influence the magnetic fields and like crash a floating mountain
Oh my
in
God.
the ocean,
I
and
think
that's how you make a
Lee, I
tsunami.
think you got it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the floating mountains crashes down into the bridgehead.
Seriously, could you imagine?
How's that story of Moses go with like the
that's the splitting of the Red Sea.
Sorry, like the locust swarm and the frogs and all that.
The 10 plagues in Egypt.
Yeah, the 10 plagues in Egypt. Yeah. Awa could be like that,
right?
Like thunderstorm as well. That could be one. Tsunami, just everything. This the entire environment just going against them.
Yep. Totally.
I could totally see, that huge mountain we looked at the start. If they broke those off, that collapsing into the sea, that would cause a tsunami for sure.
Yeah.
No, we don't know the location of Bridgehead.
Yeah. We'll have to zoom out a bit.
I mean, I wonder if, based on this map, they've given us they're going to give us a fully, knowing James Cameron, Jim's got an actual fully Google mappable version of Pandora.
Oh my God.
This is just a small section. I think in Frontiers of Pandora, we'll get a really big map.
Hopefully, yeah.
Maybe that includes something, maybe Bridgehead will be on it.
Oh, we became so popular that we actually got we got a bot in chat. That's I think that's pretty impressive.
That means you're getting popular.
Yeah, that means we're definitely attracting attention.
One thing that's interesting in that picture is at the top you can see 2 dragon gunships.
Yep.
Which is already 2 times more than they had in the first movie, and that's probably not all of them.
Do you see in the center too? There's a third one, but it's on the ground, and it looks like it has legs or support clamps or something.
Yeah.
It looks like a spider walker attached to a gunship.
Is that a ship behind the crane in the far middle?
Oh yeah.
Is that a sea dragon? It could be like a full naval and aerial assault.
It looks a bit like an air cushion vehicle to me, with a black skirt all around. That would be cool.
So I think Traxologist says something interesting in chat, right? That they could use a clean bomb, and I wonder. I could imagine actually if they dropped a clean bomb somewhere and scattered and flattened the area and wiped it all out, that would be a perfect opportunity to put that base down.
Maybe that's how they made Bridgehead in the first place.
That's what I was thinking as well. It would make sense, right, if it was a circle, because that would be the imprint of the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Building on top of the crater. I mean,
well, I don't know if it might not be a crater, but it might just flatten everything. Because I mean, when you think about real nuclear weapons being used
if you do an airburst
Hiroshima and stuff, if you do it over the ground, it just flattens everything rather than making the crater.
I would say it's not even a nuke, maybe a biological weapon.
And again,
because if it were a real nuke, they couldn't work on it for decades.
I guess.
What it was saying was using a fusion weapon with an antimatter primer instead of a fission primer.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get any radioactivity.
one of the things that I kept thinking back to was the fact that there's obviously going to be at war with Ewa, like direct war, and again that's going to feed into the themes that Jim wants to talk about. The fact that humanity is we're basically at war with Earth right now, right? That we're acting in that way, and so in terms of the symbolism and all and everything else that's going on, that's going to be one of Jim's things. He's like, if you think that this is terrible, look around you. Look what we're doing to the world ourselves. You know, if this you think that what they're doing to AI is bad now, it's 100 times worse in reality.
Yep.
I mean, after thinking of that, I don't know anything actually about military bases, but for some reason, just seeing it as a big circle does make me think, oh, could that be the aftermath of a bomb clearing it all out?
Anything's possible.
What do we think about the Death Star bit? Because have we already talked about that? That Cleese mentioned his little theory about
did
it,
earlier.
which I really liked.
I mean, anybody who knows something about Jim Cameron knows that Star Wars: A New Hope was what launched his interest in movies. When he used to be a truck driver in his early 20s. He saw Star Wars. He says, "I'm all done driving trucks. I'm going to make movies." So Star Wars was his earliest inspiration.
Yeah. Also, just to go back to what we were talking about earlier, about Jim saying everything he wants to creatively with this movie. So, and Ash, and this is something you talked about, that he wanted to make a movie about the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So it's almost like if he really wants to depict a nuclear bomb going off on screen.
Well, he did it in T2, right?
That's true. That's true. But maybe he's thinking I can do it even better now.
Yeah.
I think
you're right.
I think his film he wanted to do about Hiroshima would have been more about like the people's like reactions to it. So he hasn't got to do that in cinema yet. So I think he could do that. Also, I think as well, Jim really wants to show like the humans are destroying the Earth like in the best way he can, and doing something like making Bridgehead like it is, where it's just made a barren wasteland around it, and it's just a completely destroying our environment. It's so blatant, and like it's a massive contrast from like the beauty of Pandora to like this industrial. Like just look at it in this bit here. They made it just look sort of grim, sort of.
Oh yeah, they're not just destroying the land; they've also polluted all the air. Everything is
and probably the water too.
So I was thinking one of the things which is probably going to happen in the Avatar sequels is that we're going to be shown like beautiful new environments, like underwater coral reefs, and then later we're going to be shown these coral reefs shown again, but absolutely just decimated, like in the first film with the ashes of the home tree when Jake wakes up and it's just all grey. I think that's he's going to probably do that to each of the new environments. It's just my theory.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
Two things. One, Charlie says something really, I guess, observant in the chat. He said that there have been plenty of circular industrial sites before Star Wars was made. Circular settlements were a popular depiction in sci-fi pulp, and we know that James Cameron loves science fiction pulp stories.
And also, a circular settlement just makes sense. Like you circle the wagons, right? That's the smallest perimeter to defend per area inside.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the second thing I was going to say is that I'm going to let Minty join the stream. Minty is now here.
Oh, welcome, Minty.
Yeah.
Welcome, Minty.
How's it going, guys?
He wanted to join and discuss the thing. So, Minty, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I'm actually on my phone now, so...
Okay, but we're discussing Bridgehead. Have you seen the new images?
I'm seeing them right now, yeah.
Oh,
I will say, what I've noticed, the first thing I've noticed
him?
about the map of Bridgehead,
yeah,
it looks identical to Dublin City. I swear, you've got Hout, like, which is that like little thing like jutting out like the top. I can see where the keys are. I can like the M50 is like the perimeter going around. Dude, seriously, look up a picture of like Dublin City.
So actually, on Minty's point, it says that it's roughly the same size as a place in California, doesn't it? What does it say?
Well, you mean the square area?
Yeah, Long Beach, California.
Yeah, Long Beach, California. That's where. Isn't that where James Cameron's studio is?
I forgot.
I think it is. I think
I thought he
it's-
was. I thought his house was in Malibu, but
So his house is in Malibu.
Yeah.
There's something called Manhattan Beach Studios, which is where his offices are, right?
yeah.
And that would, I mean, maybe he's based it on that, and they've used that as a kind of reference point, so that they could say, okay, let's say, I mean, because think about it, right? When they're planning it, that's where they would have been planning it. They go, we want to go from here to there. They could just mark out a map in real life of where they are, and that would like massively help their planning, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it sounds like, James Cameron just said, what they asked him, what size should we make it? And he says, just make it the size of this city, I
Yeah.
can totally see that happening.
If he knows it really well. I mean, I think people want to hear hard drive for you chances it does look like Dublin. So Minty, of the images you've seen, have you got any other Minty takes on what you've seen?
I wonder if this place is like a beach resort for like, when they're like on their like
Yes,
on
we
their
did talk
break,
about
you know?
it.
Yeah.
Look, man, it's a
Yeah,
golfing
see,
course.
dude, can you imagine? Yeah, Selfridge is gonna love that, man. No longer is it gonna
Yeah,
put
man.
girls into like mugs and
But there's
stuff.
only one hole. It gets boring after a while.
Oh man, I don't know about you, bro. Like, you need to talk about your wife with that, Like, I don't know, bro.
About golfing?
About golfing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Minty, so you've got anything else about? Anyone else got anything else about Bridgehead?
It looks like Star Wars.
Yes.
And, yeah. It's cool though. I like this. It's a cool design. It's better than like the last one, because the last one was just kind of, let's just make a big kind of area, and this is the
We don't
general
really know what
like point
Hell's
where
Gate
everything
looked
is
like.
going to
Yeah,
be.
we never knew a lot about Hell's Gate actually, and again, one of the questions in chat has been, will we see Hell's Gate again?
Yes, but not active.
Yeah,
Probably
Yeah.
abandoned.
yeah. The
Yeah.
Na'vi are going to be chilling in there.
That's
man.
where the humans who stayed live,
Right.
not the ones who came back with the RTA.
I
That'll be
want to see a
interesting as well.
reality TV show or like a sitcom where like it's just the Hell's Gate and it's like all like 80s team, and it's just like these dudes living there. They're like all neighbors and happy. That'd be pretty cool.
That'll be when the franchise officially jumps the shark.
Yeah, it might actually jump
I
the shark.
honestly,
If Disney
Avatar 5 is
Disney
gonna
owned it,
end with-
that's what will happen.
yeah. See, this is what I was gonna say. Because it's owned by Disney now, Avatar 5 is gonna end.
It's not
with
owned by Disney.
Pandora merging.
It's not.
Well, it's okay, but they're like distributing it, so I think they might have like a bit of a say about like how some of the stuff is gonna go.
I don't
But
think
honestly,
so. No way. No way.
Avatar 5.
I don't think they do.
No, Avatar
If you want
5,
to hear about
it's
other
gonna end.
misconceptions,
Yeah.
you can listen to our misconceptions about Avatar.
Yes, and Minty will talk you through it.
No,
Do we need official Avatar
No,
fact
seriously.
checkers?
Well, we have the myth. We
It's
have the
gonna-
myth
I'm
busted
telling you
video,
guys now,
which
it's
is
gonna
Minty
end
is doing a really good
with-
ad for right now.
it's gonna end with the Disney park taking over Pandora, and they're gonna have a resort, and it's gonna tie in with the Disney park in Animal Kingdom.
Okay,
I'm calling it right now, guys. Like,
note it down. One of Minty's other insane.
I think they are going to
theories.
expand that exhibit in Disney World for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think they're going to build it in other places.
I was
I hope we get a new
speculating
park
earlier.
every time a
in,
movie comes out.
I think we've talked about auto stereoscopic 3D without glasses,
Mhm.
and the likelihood of seeing that in cinemas is very slim. But I think at a place like Disney World, they could roll something out like that, where they have a 3D exhibit, maybe Avatar, maybe something else, where you don't need glasses to see it, and it'll be incredible. But only at a high-end venue like Disney World would you see that. They might do it.
Oh, imagine if they just have a cinema in like each park where you can like go in and just watch Avatar.
Yeah. Well,
That'd be
that'd be
amazing.
nice. I doubt that'll happen though.
It'd be cool if they created
Okay,
something
I'm-
special for the Disney parks, though. Like with the what's it called? You know, the one at the park with the flight. What's the actual ride name?
Flight of
Flight
Passage.
of Passage.
Flight of Passage. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna swap to my computer real quick. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
So, where were we at before Minty came in to give us some Minty facts
So we
about Dublin?
I think we're ready to move to the next page.
yeah, I think we were.
Yeah,
I think we were
If
about
you
to
had
move to the
any-
next
any-
page.
I have some closing thoughts if anyone's got some other ones before.
No, go for it.
So I'm thinking we should be able to pinpoint exactly where this is. It should be simple. I'm just wondering when someone will actually do it.
That's like just a conceptual painting. I mean, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
We can't compare them really.
You would hope that it's actually on the map, just on this
Look, right.
coastline.
The true detectives in the Discord server will do it if it's possible. I don't doubt
Yeah.
it. They
If one
are.
of them
They
is
are.
good, they're probably on it right now.
Lorenzo's probably figuring it out right now. He's in Discord mapping it. He's got it down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, it's time for the next page. It's Tonowari. A little bit different from all the RDA. When I went back to the RDA.
I also think this is a really good time to bring Minty in, since he's such a big fan of Tonowari.
Yeah.
Well, aren't we all? Who isn't?
That's true. He is extremely based.
It's true.
There he is. So Minnie's now back,
Well,
and
this
you're
lined up
back
so
just in
perfect.
time. Yeah, that's what we were just saying. That
Exactly.
he's lined up perfectly. That you arrived just in time to discuss Tonowari.
Bro, this is like Tonowari's character is like a love letter to Polynesian culture.
Absolutely.
You know? Man, this
110%.
is so cool to see. And like the fact that they got Cliff Curtis to play him as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bro.
He's
like,
totally
seriously.
channeling his heritage here. I loved
exactly.
it was really nice to read there about the tattoos. They're basically like it's like a
They
uniform
tell your
and
life
badging.
story. Yeah,
it tells your position in the tribe, what you do, and you can tell something about a person just by looking at their tattoos.
Yeah, what I noticed as well, actually, I know we're talking about Tonowari right now, but also with Ronal or Ronale, however you want to say her, they give her a moko, which is like that's really like prominent in Maori culture. So women, they get the kind of like their lip to chin tattooed.
Yeah.
But that's really great to see like
directly out of
represented
Maori.
in this. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, it's so nice to see.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, I don't know how much the audience knows about the James Cameron has a unique relationship with the Maori culture down in New Zealand.
Yeah, and also as well, I feel like this will bring awareness to the culture as well, because if you look at other forms of media, a lot of them it's kind of more like, oh yeah, let's just have this in as background decoration. But with this, it's like it's more they're giving a reason for everything, and a lot of it is paralleling real life culture very well. So it's going to get people interested in the culture, which is great, you know.
Minty, is there anything you in particular on this page you want to zoom in on and have a good look at?
The Iknamaya is pretty cool looking. Like, I'm guessing, so it seems like something that they're collecting as they get older and like the more achievements that they get, I think.
So what is
isn't that the, maybe I'm crazy, is that the same thing that we saw in the teaser where Jake was strapping himself down to the skim wing?
No, I think it might have been something. It could have been the same one, but I think like with this one, it's like I'm just reading through it here. It's saying coming of age
weaving
rituals.
with the flax from the mangrove forest. It looks a very similar pattern in that weaving.
And if you look at it as well,
earn this.
Yeah, exactly. He's still missing a few of them.
Is it a bit like a scout?
Yeah. It's
exactly.
It's like a scout. What do you call that thing? Like
a sash.
A sash, yeah. Where you put all your badges on. So I can just imagine him like we get a scene of him like collecting these like scales, and he's like, yeah, one for the collection, man, bro.
It's like a.
Or maybe you don't collect them. Maybe you are bestowed them when you accomplish something.
Yeah, dude, we should really read the description to figure out about this instead of speculating.
Nah, just guess.
No, we have read it. That's
for each thing they achieve. Basically, that each thing they achieve, they add something to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how it's going into detail about this, because I feel like so many times when they're taking inspiration from Polynesian culture and Maori culture, this goes with a lot of different cultures, but especially Polynesian culture. They just use the designs, but they don't know the meaning behind them. But with this, they're giving the meaning behind them. They understand that the tattoos have a meaning for them. And it's like a coming of age. You get them because you do a certain thing in your life. You know, it's really great to see.
Yep. I think at some point I mentioned this last time. We should do some. We should do a Maori cast comparing the Metcaina to the Maori, seeing all the
Yeah, that'd be
inspirations.
cool.
I feel like
Once we have more info.
Yeah, we need to invite an actual person of Maori heritage essentially to come on and help talk us through that,
Mhm.
so that we don't come across as just completely ignorant.
Yeah.
I really think the knife is really cool, the obsidian knife.
Yeah, that's
Obsidian's
really cool.
super sharp, right? I remember reading about how sharp it is, that the fragments can literally slice you to pieces.
Yeah, I saw this thing as well. The thing about it is it's not only is it sharp, but it stays sharp. So a lot of like knives and swords, they like wear down after a while, but obsidian is so hard, it doesn't lose its sharpness, you know?
Yeah,
So that's
I
pretty
get
cool.
you.
It probably
It
won't
looks-
do much against steel machinery, but I bet it's great against skin.
Yeah. I mean, even
I-
against steel machinery, maybe if you plunged that into some, I wonder if that could penetrate.
Yeah,
I mean, I
like,
don't know enough about obsidian to
Think
know.
about this. You got to use the Minecraft knowledge here, okay? You can't break obsidian with an iron pickaxe.
All right, there you go.
So I'm thinking this obsidian, this is gonna like destroy any steel. You know that like this like Tonawari is gonna go up and he's gonna be like, and then, like
It's
a
just gonna
ship is
cut the
gonna
sea
break
What I
dragon
apart.
will
with
say
his knife.
is in Avatar 3, they are going to have diamond ships so they can counter the obsidian.
Oh
Jim,
my God.
it actually turns out Jim's lost his mind. Wasted 5 years playing Minecraft, and then and then just come back and be like, yeah, guys, I got loads of cool ideas. This Minecraft game has helped me out massively.
Yeah.
I think the cape's cool as well that he talks about.
Yeah, I
That's
like that.
that's to do with the coming of age ceremony. Maybe that's what it showed in that image. Maybe that is some kind of coming of age ceremony. It could be that it's Ronal and Soraya, or something like that that are doing that kind of.
I like how they give it a name as well. So it's called Makrame. Is looking like, yeah. It's interesting, yeah.
Isn't I think that's macrame. That's an English
Macrame.
word.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It's not
okay.
a Navi word.
Oh, okay, right. Never mind.
I mean, I've
Am
never,
I wrong?
I've never seen that word in English.
No, it's an
before
English
either.
word. It's not Navi.
It's kind of
Macrame? No, it's
I
French.
thought it was
yeah.
going to be a fish that
Yeah.
like lived
Oh, yeah,
on
see, it's
Pandora and they
French.
call it macrame.
It's a French word,
Oh, is it?
but
It's a type of
a type of
textile.
I don't know
cloth.
with
Yeah.
yeah, it's I think it's a textile
It's
or
stucco.
weave or knit, something like that.
So let's
also,
have a look. What else?
The
Oh, the
fact
song
it says
card. That looks
Ikra
really cool.
wing. Oh yeah.
And they do mention that
Ronald
you
could
add
sing
more.
volumes about. I wonder if we're going to
You
hear
add
Ronald
more
sing.
pearls. Oh,
Do you guys
yes.
think this is going to be like like the religious beads, like it's in like
Yeah,
Christianity,
like the rosary.
Yes.
Buddhism, all that. Yeah, the rosary. Yeah,
Ronald will
exactly.
be praying the rosary on the song chord.
Yeah, so they talk about the first songs in Avatar. Maybe
Oh,
this
yes.
is going back to the first songs, and every time a major event happens, they add something to the song chord, and it's like a way of remembering the history. So Ronal is so like inept with the history of the people that this is why she's so like respectful of it. She knows so much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really interesting because doing this is a great way of preserving the song over many, many generations.
Yeah,
Because you can tell if a verse has been lost because you have the song chord. So that feeds into the whole thing with the laws of Ewa, which we think are a way to make Navi civilization stable. So that would also help with that.
I bet though, if this is significant to their history and like this is how they like remember their history, 100% this is going to get destroyed by the humans. Like I'm calling it right now.
Song
You
chord?
know, it's yeah, 100%.
You mean out of spite, they're going to grab it from her and rip it in half?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can
Oh,
already
and
see
not
that
even
happening.
understand why it's a big deal.
could be.
Yeah, maybe.
That's that's exactly you could be onto something. That's why she screams in the end. She goes mental. That shot of her screaming in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the ropes as well that he has going down by his side. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else on this? I mean, there's the little bangle, which I think is really cool. We haven't touched
The
upon.
armband. Yeah, they carved that out of a single shell, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine that would be extremely valuable. Like,
Yeah, if you could sell that on Earth.
Yeah,
What
like
happens?
with
okay.
What happens when Tanawari gets all swole though, and his muscles get really big?
That's true.
He's gonna break it.
Oh, it's like okay. I don't know if anyone's seen that movie Bahubali, but there's a scene where like he has to like lift like the shivling, you know, and he like, but he uses his muscles and he breaks the beads like around his arm.
Right.
I feel like we're gonna get a scene of that, like where he has to like lift something really heavy and he breaks it because he's just so strong.
Olex made a really good comment in chat, right? So Olex says the necklace around Tonawari is wearing from Akula's teeth, they're the huge sharks. Do you think Alua is bigger than Tulka and more aggressive? Well, we know they're not bigger, but I bet they are more aggressive. And
I've seen a video of like a remote control one swimming around the pool.
Yeah,
they look pretty like crazy, man. I wouldn't want to mess with them.
If Ewa calls them to aid, that would be also looking. Could you imagine seeing a huge like wall of Tulkan and sharks attacking humans?
Avatar guy, it's gonna happen.
That'd be pretty cool.
I also don't think that these Akula are friends because you wouldn't wear the teeth of something that is friendly or something that you can eat in the forest and be friends with.
They could be from ones that have died from old age.
Yeah, maybe it's like
very dignified, you know.
No, but like like I'm friends with lions and I've got like a lion tooth like necklace. So
yeah,
I love Benny. I'm friends with lions.
I'm friends with lions, but, you know. Check
I mean,
my Instagram for proof.
Genuinely, looking at Tonawari, like just in that zoomed in mode, it makes me so excited to see this guy like just in battle because it's almost like Sute seemed very kind of young in the original, and Etukan was old, right? Like to see a Navi warrior who's the head of his tribe, who's
in
kind
his
of
prime.
Yeah, exactly. To see in his prime, I want to see him just absolutely tear it up and just do some. Like I'd love to see him like go 1-on-1 with the recon. That would be so.
He looks, and I was gonna say he looks a hell of a lot stronger than the Omatikaya. He looks like an Avatar. He's got big muscles. He could go against the recon.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. He's way more hench than any of the Omatikaya.
That's gonna happen too. We know
those huge arms. They're there for a reason.
Yep.
Do you think he's going to be slower on land though? Because you see like the way his legs are and everything. Like, do you think that's going to like they're going to touch on that? Because there is a scene where the kids are like in the water, and Jake's kids aren't as fast on the water as Tonawari's kids. So you think that's going to be a thing in the movie? Like he has to like run after Quaritch or something. Quaritch like outruns him.
Yeah, could be.
But then he just jumps in the water and swims away.
Yeah, and then he swims after him, and then he wins. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like that'd be like. I don't know. That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, and maybe the Omatikaya are better climbers or something.
Well, they say that in the sneak preview with was it Ionum? He says he says you guys might be good at swinging through trees, but you're no good in the water.
Oh yeah.
This is why we need to get in Avatar 3 a scene where they're in the desert and then they're both just out of their element.
Yeah, they're on an equal even footing.
And Navi comes along on like a camel creature thing, and then he's like, "Yo, you guys, you're better in the jungle and the water, but I'm for the desert, man."
Right.
We need a scene like that. Come on, James Cameron, please.
Yeah. And then in the next movie.
Page? Oh, sorry, Clay. Go on.
No, in the next movie we have a snow Navi. That's all I wanted to say. You can go to the next page.
So my favorite page. This skim wing.
Take it away then, Ashen man.
I was being sarcastic, but sure.
You weren't being sarcastic. This is a legitimately good page.
Oh yeah, much better than Bridgehead. So
no, it's not better than Bridgehead.
Bridgehead is great. It looks like Dublin City.
Honestly, I just staring at that Bridgehead image today for like hours on end just got me so excited. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
interesting. It does prey on aerial creatures. So my thoughts on the skim ring is how long can it be in the air for? Maybe it's like a
you don't need to fly for very long.
Yeah, it doesn't have to. Yeah, there's this type of fish. I can't remember the name of it. It's like
flying fish,
pelican or something. Yeah, no, it's a different. No, trevally. That's the name of the fish. And no joke, these things, like, they wait for a bird to fly low to the water and they jump out of the water and eat it.
Exactly.
Like, they're crazy, man. Seriously, like, because, okay, you got to think, if all, like, okay, if there's seabirds in this universe, which I'm pretty sure there is, we see, like, birds, like animals in the first movie, yeah? Flying close to the water. They're probably hunting fish. So they're going close to the water. These guys, I'm telling you, they're going to jump up and, like, snap them.
Minty, you have a good
Yeah, I
point, but we all know it's not based on that fish. It's based on the fish from Piranha 2, the spawning.
The flying fish.
Yeah.
The text is very interesting here. They talk about the ground effects to get
What
an
is the
extra
ground
lip.
effect?
It's
It's
a
where they
wing
skim above the
is
water.
much more efficient when it's really close to the
Oh,
ground
yeah.
because the air gets
the air
trapped
pressure,
between
yeah,
the
yeah,
wing
yeah.
and the ground, and so that creates extra
So that's
pressure.
why it's called the skim wing.
Exactly, because
that is why it's called skim wing.
Skimming.
it's impossible to go more than like a meter
No, yeah,
off the
its tail
ground,
doesn't
off the
leave the
water,
water, though.
but as long as you stay really low, you can fly for a really long time.
I thought the most interesting detail is that it can breathe in the air or underwater. It doesn't need to go up for air or vice versa. It can convert its gills and its lungs to adapt to wherever it's at. That's just crazy.
It's like an amphibian.
Oh yeah.
So let's see this bonding with the Navi section. So
Oh yeah, it's not like the Ikran. They're a bit more promiscuous, and also they seem to be more. They're a bit more selective. It seems.
high
feisty.
maintenance. Require a lot of bond time to remain loyal. Return back to the village. So they do return back to the village, like an Ikran or best.
They
suited
sound
for
like
top
cats.
riders.
You know, high maintenance, require a lot of bond time, and sometimes return to the village.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus
Just
Ikran,
like
which
a
is
cat,
just bonded
yeah.
for life, like a dog. Just loves
Yeah,
you
yeah,
unconditionally
exactly.
forever.
Hashtag
That
Ikran is
raises
better
a
than.
question.
Yeah, I'm
Because
more of an
these guys.
Ikran person myself. Yeah.
The Ikran, do they stay in the tree all day and the Navi feed them, or do they go on to hunt? Because here it says that the skimwings, they go off to hunt and sometimes they don't come back. So it makes me wonder
Dude,
about
this
the
is just
Ikran.
like a cat. Yeah, no.
Halfway between a fish and an Ikran. In fact, Skimwing and Ikran share a common ancestor.
That is a pretty big evolutionary jump.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between not even like a horse and a dolphin. They're related, but it's even bigger than that.
Yeah. Horses and dolphins have a common ancestor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
seahorses.
doesn't say
dolphins are
much.
like basically hippos in the ocean.
Oh man, imagine a Pandoran hippo.
Oh my
That
god.
man,
That would
honestly,
be insane.
we should have seen that when Jake jumps in the water. There should have been like a big animal in the water.
Maybe he's
that,
saving
like,
it. He's
chases them
saving
around.
it for a later one.
Or
Pandoran
maybe-
hippos and elephants and stuff.
Yeah, because we
I'll-
kind of got elephants, I suppose. Like in the extended scene, you know, where they're going on a hunt.
Yeah.
They're kind of like elephants, you know. Like we got kind of rhinos, but like I want a hippo like animal, you know, that's just like chilling in the water.
We'll just have to wait until Avatar 4 when they go to the African Serengeti on Pandora, Minty.
Exactly, man. When are we going to the Africa place in Pandora?
Soon.
Man, come
Give
on.
it time, man. It's coming. Trust in Jim.
We had like a 5-second clip of the planes in the first movie.
Yeah, but let's be honest, guys. That was real, like, you know, Great Plains of North America instead of like African Serengeti. You know, someday we're gonna get the Africa place in Pandora.
Minty will be so happy. He'll be crying in this and that.
It's just
Oh,
going to
bro,
be like
seriously,
a 2-minute
if we
sequence.
do end up meeting up to watch all these movies together, it's going to be like an Avatar 4 or something. The Africa scene's going to come up. Everyone's going to look over me and going to be like, yeah, man, yeah.
I wonder if the colors on the wings are going to be different for every skim wing.
For sure.
It
for
says
the-
they're unique, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
It's gonna be
wonder
like
to what
Ikran.
extent. Like, do they all have a blue body, or can that change too?
Based on the Ekrons, it looks like they can do all
Yeah,
kinds
they
of
can
color
be any
combos.
color. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, a max speed of 93 kilometers an hour. That's pretty insane, right?
That's
pretty
probably
quick.
in flight.
That's
So
fast.
that's a short dash, but it's pretty fast, yeah.
Geronimo, the king is here. Do you think we'll have a tease of polar or desert biomes in Avatar 2? I think we might see desert biomes. I don't know about polar, but I think we might see desert.
I don't think they're going to tease other areas
I
until
don't
the
think it would
next
be polar
movies
though.
come out.
You see,
Maybe
the
not.
idea of polar is that the planet is so far away from the sun that it has cold
No,
areas.
that's not the idea.
So Charlie
That's
does.
about sun exposure.
Charlie in the chat. It does mention knots. I think it mentions speed and knots in some
Yeah,
of
it
the
says,
different
it
things.
says
Yeah,
oops,
50
sorry,
knots.
it says 50 knots. 50 knots, 93 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, 93 kilometers an hour is a lot.
And they only live for 20 years, man. Why do they keep making animals that don't live as long as humans?
That's
They die
Pandoran.
quick.
That's Pandoran years. That's like 80 years, man.
Wait, what?
That's
Dude,
true.
the Ordia,
How long is a year on Pandora?
zoom in on that. The Ordia has foxes.
Where?
Or does that say forces? Oh no, that says forces. I was like, bro, to fight the Ordia's foxes? What, like the little dogs?
My fault.
Oh my god, man. I need to get a new computer or something. Like, seriously, it's not loading up properly for me. I thought it was an X.
Okay,
Are we ready to move
I was going to say,
to
does anyone have anything else left from the skim wing?
Let's
Okay,
move
if we're
on.
not, the next one.
Nope.
I think is this the
Alright.
last one?
This is the back page of this book, of the visual dictionary book, which is interesting actually. You can see some of the stuff what we didn't get to see, such as
yes.
the more about the actual sea dragon and the Kestrel gunship. I'm not sure what that one is. Have we heard anything about that before?
That was actually it pictured in one of the other books, I believe.
I think that's a
Really?
boat.
I feel like that would probably hover. Like, I don't know, if it's called a Kestrel, it's probably going to hover in a weird way that makes it look like the Kestrel.
Yeah, it might be one of those ships that's docked at Bridgehead in the port.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Something else I've seen interesting here is that the Matakaya's clan's high camp. So obviously they've moved to somewhere else, and this is
Yeah.
where they're now situated.
Right.
The high camp.
Guys, is that Quaritch on the left?
No,
No.
that's was it?
It's one of the other
Frank?
guys that was in the other picture.
He has brass knuckles tattooed on his knuckles.
You know, this is the Marine. So, Minty, you know, at the start of the first movie, where Jake first lands
Yes.
on his wheelchair,
Yeah.
and he lands and goes across like the courtyard. There's Wainfleet and a Marine, and this is that Marine.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's the guy from the first movie.
Oh, his hairstyle looks kind of cursed. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I mean, his tattoos though, they're fire.
He's got
Right,
some
yeah.
scissors as well. Maybe he's a medic.
I'm not sure about that. He's got a pirate symbol.
I like how the recoms are like very like personalized. They're not just like all the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. They've got a lot of personality. I think we need to look at the sea wasp for Chax in
I
chat
just looked
because he's
it up.
been
His
waiting
name
for
is
this
Frank.
ages.
Okay,
Okay,
too.
this thing, I love it. You
Man,
can
that going on the
tell,
front.
look at the rotors, you can tell each one is doubled. And I'm not talking, there's not 4 rotors, there's 8 rotors. Can you tell?
Yeah.
On
Oh,
each
yeah,
spoke,
yeah.
there's 2, and they turn opposite ways to counteract like torque. So the aircraft is more stable, and even if you lose one, it doesn't throw the whole thing out of balance.
Yep.
And having 4 instead of 2 would even amplify that.
I'm just
It
wondering.
also makes it twice as fast.
I'm wondering if those wings articulate, sort of like a jump jet, so
Yeah.
that like a Harrier, so they can pivot.
it does look like a Harrier, doesn't it? That's what I
I
was
mean,
actually.
they
thinking.
did on the Samsons, so they probably do here as well.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
It looks like the wing isn't fixed. There's like a seam, so they
Yeah.
probably do move a little.
And on the inner part of the wing, like the shoulders, those look like air intakes. So there's probably a jet engine at the back, and you can
Yeah.
probably go really far and really fast.
Yep.
So they're not like the Samsons or
No, these are like scouts or interceptors.
yeah, these can go out and actually do things outside of the immediate range.
They need to cover a lot of ground across Bridgehead and across the sea.
How big
Yeah,
do you
and they
guys
want
think this is?
power.
I think it's
Is this
smaller
like
than
a
Is it-
one
is it-
person?
Is there a
jet,
person
or-
inside here?
It might be a
Can't really make
two-seat.
it out.
It's a single seat.
Yeah, it's a single seat cockpit, right? So
Okay.
you should be able to sort of get an idea of the sort of size.
Yeah,
of it
so
from
not
there.
that big. Yeah, these are like more like the little kind of fighter jets. Yeah,
Yeah,
And
for sure.
it has a lot of
it's
missiles.
cool to see.
And also, there's a weapon.
It's like
So
smaller
it's just
missiles as
rocket
well.
missiles. Yeah, and a
You see that?
Gatling gun.
It's like,
Yeah, the Scorpion didn't have a machine gun mounted in the nose.
so many weapons on this thing.
And on these small winglets on the sides, you can see even two very small missiles, gray ones.
Yep.
No, not the pylons.
On
Right
the side
next
of
to
the cockpit.
Oh yeah.
Tiny missiles, they're so
This
cute.
thing is
Man, this is gonna destroy
many
the new like ring place.
Oh,
Yeah.
interceptors, yeah, they'll be so fast as well. Like, be interesting to see how that looks of like a plane traveling at like 500 kilometers an hour versus like the Ikrans and stuff. Like in the first movie, there was literally no human tech which actually moved this
Yeah.
fast, apart from the Valkyrie.
Right.
We
You
never
could
get to
just-
see that interact with anything else.
Zoom and boom, or boom and zoom. I don't remember, but it's a thing.
So, any more words on the Sea Wasp?
I
not
think
for
we
me.
covered it.
I love
The-
that armband. I want to have that, man. Like seriously, that
So
looks
maybe-
so cool, man. Can you imagine going surfing with that? Like seriously, bro.
It looks like an actual picture. It looks
I
like
mean, you
they
could probably
really
make
made
that
it.
mini.
Yeah.
I
That
might
doesn't
make
seem
that,
like something
man.
you couldn't make. You
I
might have to
might make that.
dye the feather. But
Oh no, dude! I've found birds with feathers like that. If I was gonna have this, I put like a peacock feather on it. Put like what's another cool bird I could stick on there? Oh, dude! Imagine sticking like a macaw feather on there. You just got this real long like yellow and blue feather going down your arm. Man, the minute you go into the ocean, it's gonna be like destroyed. But man,
it's gonna look great until it gets wet. Yeah. So-
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the one that interested me most of this back page, other than what we've already discussed and the interesting writing, was the tranquilizer darts. And you guys were talking about it before. The fact that they're probably potentially capturing Pandoran animals, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, in some the Pandora Rising game that was canceled and the Project 880 script, they both make pretty obvious references to the fact that RDA scientists are conducting unethical experiments and genetic testing on all kinds of animals and stuff. It's not touched upon in the first movie because Grace's science team, totally different department, and I think a very small wing of what the RDA is doing. So you're going to see a much darker part of the science teams this time around. They're going to be experimenting on animals and maybe even the Nazi.
Yeah.
What if they are sending these animals back to Earth and it's like, you guys ever see Jurassic Park 2? And they've got that like zoo in San Diego.
That would require developing a cryobed just for that animal.
Nah, dude, they could
It
just
seems
have
like
like,
a waste of resources as well, given
Yeah.
that Earth is dying.
man, look, we
Okay,
live in
but-
a world that's already dying, and
We live
people
in
are
a
still
society-
going to see dumb stuff. Can you imagine how cool it would be to see something like a Taruk
Yes,
at
it
the
would be
local
cool.
zoo?
But
Fair
the
point.
RDA, man.
Man, like honestly, okay, look, yeah, you're gonna make a lot of money off the unobtainium, but if you brought even like something like I don't know, like a viper wolf back to Earth, that is gonna be the most popular animal on the planet. Like
Yeah, but
every
man, you
kid is
gotta
gonna
keep
want
it
that on their
alive for
lunchbox.
6 years on the ship.
Yeah,
So you
dude,
think that
just feed
By
it and,
Avatar,
like,
Avatar 4 or
yeah.
5 will have Pandora Park on Earth.
Pandora Park, exactly.
Pandora
It's gonna
Park
be
confirmed.
okay. You know how people call Jurassic Park JP?
PP.
They're gonna be calling us PP. Let's go to PP. Oh, bro.
Okay.
It's not out of the
About
realm
the-
of possibility.
About the darts, I think it reminds me of what Dr. Grace Augustine said, that the wealth of this world is not in the ground, it's all around us. And she says that to Selfridge, and I think the RDA really hurt her. And so the animals, the plants.
You know what I find crazy though about this? It's now like 2172 or something, and the screens still look like they're from the 1980s.
Those are field computers. They need to be tough.
Dude, so the screen on the left here, I'm pretty sure this is the airstrike thing, which recoms have on them, and like they can call for airstrikes, because on the recon page earlier it mentioned that they had like artillery assistance.
Yeah.
On the front line. I think that's what this is.
And they obviously have satellites.
It's like a what do you say, like a sat nav? Because it says nav sat.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, what if it's a sat navi?
The yellow computer on the right, that's a satellite communications screen.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I was wondering about that yellow computer, because I wonder if it's a map and the area in blue is ocean and the area in black is not currently in range, or if it's a map of the planet and the thing we see in space are like shuttles coming in from orbit and entering the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Why would they have that? Like, this is like a field thing, though. Like, why would you need that when going out into
Because
the
if
jungle?
you're getting picked up by a shuttle and brought back in another part of the planet,
it's a bit rounded for the planet, though.
I mean, it's
planets are pretty round. You know, I don't know if you noticed. Yeah.
I don't know. I just heard the other day the Earth is flat. So
really, man,
it was a pretty convincing case too.
Yo, dude, what if Pandora's flat?
Add that to the iceberg.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love the hexapede toy.
Yeah.
Like, where are they getting these rubber bands in the jungle, man?
Well, they probably got them from.
It's plant fibers.
A combination of human stuff, and they're using rubber bands from Hell's Gate Base. Obviously, they stole them.
Yeah, I like how they use the feathers.
Really
though.
cool,
it looks like that antelope-looking thing in the
a hexapede
in the first movie. Yeah.
It is a hexapede. Cool. It says hexapede toy.
Yeah, hexapede.
I feel like we're nearly at the end. What do you guys think
of this page?
Wait, this was written by Sigourney Weaver?
No, she gives the forward.
Right.
What does the forward do? And I'm actually interested.
The intro.
It's an introduction
to the book. Yeah.
Oh man.
We're gonna get like 10 more pictures tomorrow or next week. So.
Oh god.
Down here.
Oh yeah. James Cameron's Avatar.
Where's Disney?
Wait, so you're saying?
Yeah, Minty.
So you're saying none of this is real?
Oh, it's actually James Cameron went to the Proxima Centauri system.
Man.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
so, dude, what if those armbands?
We're gonna move on before Minty starts talking about.
What if those armbands are what the Metcalina put on the kids when they go swimming for the first time?
Like floaties?
Yeah, armbands. Like
the floating armbands.
What if?
Yeah, maybe.
Feathers float on the
I can just imagine. No, dude, the feathers are so they can float. You know that's what birds do, bro. Like.
Right. We're on the final page. Can you hear me?
Oh wow. Oh, yeah, dude, Kidney is so excited right now. Seriously, I wish I was like 7 again. Like beg my mom to get on. He's for Christmas.
So Minty, earlier you were talking about the shark. Here it is.
And that was the dude I saw in the swimming pool.
Yeah, I knew you were talking about it because I saw it when you were saying it.
And I saw it on the train earlier. Dude, no joke. When I saw that video, because it was in a line of, because I watch like ocean videos on my way to work on the bus, you know, and it's like all whales and dolphins. And then I keep flicking through and I see that. I'm like, oh, dude, someone's got like a little shark in their pool. And I'm watching it from, I'm like, oh, it's posted by Avatar. What's this? Is it like, oh, it's a robot. Oh, dude, that's so cool.
Like, it's got little propellers in the front fins. just like the jetpacks that they use to film with. That's what moves it forward.
That's
So-
crazy,
so-
man.
Something
I don't think they
interesting
have-
about the shark is that
I don't
from
think
the
they have a
teaser trailer.
price on this one yet, though.
Oops, sorry everyone. But on the teaser trailer,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
it.
sure the shark is there. I'm pretty sure that's the
Yeah.
same shark.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the remote control.
What about it?
Remote- right. Okay. Let's.
I mean,
a lot of
does the shark
controls
swim?
on this bad boy.
Do you put it in your bathtub
Yeah, it can
Yeah,
swim.
put it in a swimming pool.
and you can actually? Oh yeah, you mentioned it.
I can't
I
wait to
wanna get,
see
like,
all the
20 of 'em.
videos.
Put them in a little
Yeah.
lake.
Dude, I can't wait to see all the videos of kids putting these things in the ocean and then like the tide just like pulling them away and the kids crying because their toy got lost. I remember, dude, I got this like little boat, yeah, and it was like the little remote control boats. So obviously, me being a kid, I'm like, oh, dude, I'm gonna take it to the sea. It's gonna be awesome, And this giant wave just comes up, and it looks like, you ever see the scene in Poseidon where the big wave comes up and the ship falls over? That's what it looked like. Just bawling my eyes out because it just went under the water. I saw bubbles coming up.
That's so sad.
Oh man, I can't wait to see all the kids doing this with these toys. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, you seem to really enjoy watching kids suffer.
No. It's
And
for the
the
joke.
protagonist
It's
dying
the
at the
joke.
end.
Yeah, dude. Jake needs to die. I'm telling you, bro.
Wait till
Watch
the third
watch
movie.
that earlier video. Yeah.
At least the third
Yeah.
movie.
Just quickly about the gun in the M-suit's hand. It
It's a
looks very
flamethrower.
different.
It's a new design, slightly.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a new design that we're going to see in the movie, or if it's just
I think
The
that was
toy.
in one of the mobile games, So I think there's flame units in one of the mobile games. Maybe that one that got scrapped.
yeah.
But I remember there being flaming units, and I think that was the gun that they used on the amp suits.
It looks kind of like a big Stanley knife.
The other thing that interested me was the fact that it's got rusty feet.
Yeah.
Is
Or
that
maybe
rust
it's
or
salt
mud?
water.
Yeah.
It's mud.
Yeah.
I think it's just mud.
Yeah, it could be. It could be
I-
both.
I'm still kind of expecting that we'll see a new version of the amp suit. Like they're recycling this old one just because we haven't seen anything new yet, but there's gonna be some kind of a marine amp suit.
What's that in its other
Yeah.
hand?
I thought it was a mace, but
knife.
it's a
It's a
knife. But I thought it was a
flamethrower.
mace because
No, look,
you
in,
see,
in its other hand.
No,
Look at
that's the
flamethrower.
claw from the crab suit.
Yeah.
beneath it.
I got so
Ah,
excited when
it
I
looks
first
like
saw
it's
that because I'm
holding
like, yeah,
No,
that's
there's-
like a mace or
there's a
something you can
knife.
swing around.
All right, I see. Yeah, there's a knife, and then there's the leg of the crab suit.
Yeah.
So it looked like
No,
it was
that's a-
holding something with a
It's a
hook.
flamethrower.
No, on
No,
on
the
the
other
left
hand.
hand.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're going. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, that hand is the one we were getting confused about.
Yes.
So I'd just like to see something new, not just recycle the amp suits.
Mhm.
Do
mean-
you know what would be cool if you got an amp suit for recoms, so it's like double the size.
Right. There you go.
Maybe we won't
No,
see.
you can make an
Maybe
amp
we'll
suit, but
barely see any M suits. Maybe the M suits they just stay in Bridgehead, and the movie is out in the ocean, and we see crab suits and
Right.
mako suits,
Right.
and these are the new M suits.
I kind of meant something more amphibious that could be in the water and then come up on land. Sort of like Pacific Rim, like
That's
the
the
what are
crab
they-
suit, man.
Huh?
That's the crab suit.
Well, right, but that's not a combat machine. That's like an exploration.
Oh,
vessel.
yeah,
I mean,
maybe
like
it
a
does.
combat mech, like in
Mhm.
Pacific
Yeah,
Rim.
I see what you mean. That would be
Oh my
extremely
god,
cool.
Guys.
Pacific Rim combat mechs, that'll be crazy.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, yeah, you know how like you see those videos of like soldiers like out at war, but they're making funny videos with their friends to like lighten the mood. Do you think these guys have made like a video of all of them on the beach, like dancing to the crab rave music
Yeah.
In the crab
Yeah.
suit.
in the crab suit? Obviously, yeah.
Oh
So
my
it's just
God.
them all like dancing,
I think on that thought we should be wrapping the show up. I think does anyone what is everyone's final thoughts on these?
I'm going broke.
Oh man, seriously, yeah. I'm gonna get all of these from my brother, and it like I'm gonna help him play with them. It's
Yeah, you're gonna play
100%,
with
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Use your brothers.
I can't wait to get that shark, man. Seriously, that shark's gonna be going all around like the Irish beaches. Hopefully the waves don't take it away like my boat.
I'm gonna need an entire room just to stage all these things.
Yeah, I know how
Yeah.
you feel.
Oh, guys, even the stuff in the background though. There's a Navi riding on the Thanator. Wait, and that's like the original scene at the end of the movie. I just noticed. Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool, man.
That's a small one though. That's like miniature.
Yeah.
No, they're all this. No, these are enlarged ones I put around the edge. So there's the crab
sure?
suit again. That's the actual size of the crab suit. I don't think this is miniature. I think it's kind of.
Oh, look, there's
bit more-
two M suits. One's bigger than the other.
Yeah, that's no, you're right.
We're making different scales. So the dioramas with the landscapes and plants and everything, those are a little smaller.
Yeah,
And
no, I got you.
That'd be
I don't know
so
if
cool
it-
to have on your desk, though.
I don't know if I'll get the toys, but I'll definitely get the books. Like
Yeah.
the books, 100%. I've already pre-ordered them. With the toys, I'll just wait and I'll probably just watch other people review them and play with them. Otherwise, they would just gather dust.
Also, man, I don't know. I don't really want to like order like toys and stuff, like, and have that awkward conversation like at the door, being like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I'm ordering these, man." Like, don't judge.
If you don't buy some toys, they're not going to make more toys.
Oh, dude,
I mean,
that was
maybe it's for
actually
the best.
that was a huge thing in Ireland when they released the Star Wars: The Force Awakens toys. They had to
Look at
ban
him.
people from going into Smith's, which is like a Irish toy store, because everyone was going in and stockpiling all of the what would you say, the minifigures, kind of like the action figures, because they wanted to like get all of them and then sell them at a later
Yeah, they
date
want
when
to
they
try
were
and
worth
sell them.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy people, man. I swear.
I think Star Wars merchandise has got a different. Like, there's a lot of hardcore fans who want all of it.
Unlike Star Wars, though, I think Avatar's making all its money at the box office. Star Wars makes all its money on the merchandise.
Very true.
Yeah.
So I think, guys, what I think, Clee, do you want to do the promo?
Oh yeah, come visit us on Discord, discord.gg/avtr. It's fun. Come hang out.
And yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
discuss
Join
more
us
of
for
this,
the after show.
yeah. So
Also,
yeah,
We're gonna
thank
talk
you.
about the new
like
place.
the video, subscribe, hit that bell button, all of these things. Or you can
Do-
dislike it if you didn't like it, but I
Yes.
hope you liked it.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, everyone, and yeah, thanks especially to the Based and Robust Network, and thank everyone for watching, as always.
See you guys.